Guess who's back? Back again. NPI's back. Best tell a friend. It's day 2 of the National Program Invitational Watch Party. And if you missed day 1, well, shame on you, but you're not too late to the party as we bring you coverage of one of Prep Baseball's crown jewel events with Division I commits and MLB draft prospects everywhere here at the LakePoint Sports Baseball Village. I'm Cory McCartney. We've got some great action coming your way in the second day of, again, the NPI. We're all headed towards a 12:40 game window today. We're going to have some great guests stopping by as well. Yesterday it was Jacob Lombard, the #1 player in the nation in 2026. Keon Johnson, the #1 player in Georgia in the class, and you can find those interviews on the LakePoint Sports YouTube channel. Today I'll be joined by elite players like Coleman Borthwick, Trevor Condan, Gio Rojas, John Sters, and as well as Austin Tambora, those other guys playing for the USA Prime/Aces national team. Austin Tambora for 6'4" DP. You will also hear from Prep Baseball President Shawn Duncan, our own Grayson, Rosen, Avery Hunt, and our roving reporter Lexi Bowden. Let's take a look at the games that we'll be checking out today. We've got Kane 17U NST versus Georgia Jackets 17U Nationals. Then it's Team Elite Scout 17U versus the star-studded San Diego Padres Scout Team. Slammers Duman 2026s versus White Sox Scout Team Slayton. It's like baseball sizzler, folks, but this is, again, all baseball all day, and like an infomercial, it doesn't stop there. So producer Mason, let's show them what else they get. We'll be back Saturday with another 12:40 time slot. And that one's going to be Texas 12 2026 Red Sox versus Rawlings Southeast Mad Mavericks. NBA Scout Team 2026 versus Team Elite Platinum 17U and Building Champions 17U National against White Sox Scout Team Slayton. Be off Sunday, but back with you Monday for the 17U Championship game scheduled for 12:20. Today's 3 games, by the way, include a combined 90-plus players ranked in their respective states. So buckle up. This figures to be a lot of fun. Among those players in our matchup today is our Barnsley Resort Player Spotlight, which is firmly on outfielder Noah Wilson, playing for San Diego Padres Scout Team, the #2 player in Tennessee in 2026. Wilson burst on the national scene last summer, going from 2024 feature gamer to Prep Baseball All-American and a Vanderbilt commit, as we bring up our Barnsley Player Spotlight graphic here on Noah Wilson. The 25th ranked player in the nation. He's delivering exit velos up to 104.6 and running a 6.44 in the 60, making him a can't-miss combo of power and speed. We'll see Wilson, and again, that San Diego Padres Scout Team in action in just a little bit versus Team Elite. Now, you've seen specialty items all across MLB ballparks across the country, each one trying to outdo one another. I hate to break to all of them, but the gauntlet has been thrown here by this limited time offer here at LakePoint Sports. Say hello to the walk-off burger in our review by our food critics, Grayson, Rosen, and Mason Monroe.
Today we're unveiling a limited time F&B item here at LakePoint Sports. It is a new signature burger called the Walk-Off. So it's not just a normal burger here. It's got 3 cheeseburger patties as well as a handful of shaved steak. That'll be joined with some bacon as well as 4 onion rings on top with a drizzle of hot honey as well as some barbecue sauce, and that is all on a toasted Hawaiian bun. I think our first question, naturally, is how are we going to approach this burger? It is standing rather tall. We didn't get a real measurement, but I think we're looking at about 7 inches. Yeah. It's an unbelievably tall burger. I think it's almost, it shouldn't be, you can't get a fork and knife for this. No. You got to go all in. Maybe you could hit layers. Maybe you take the top bun off, you knock out the onion rings, a little bit of the bacon, and then you go for it from there. But I think both of us have to just put in the valiant effort to.
You just got to go the extra mile.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's dig in.
I got a neck cramp in the middle of that bite.
Oh, man. Off the bat, it tastes outstanding.
It does taste good.
It is a really good
As hard
burger.
as it is to eat, it tastes pretty good.
The 3 patties, you might call it excessive. You might call 4 onion rings excessive. I don't know. I think it works well together somehow. It's a daunting challenge, but like the onion rings are perfect. They're outstanding. The burgers are great. Cheese is very well melted.
Yeah, I'm going for another one.
And that's a serious bite right there. All right, well, everybody, all summer long, come and get the walk-off here at LakePoint Sports at either of our food and beverage stands.
Absolutely great stuff. I'm glad they had to suffer through that and not me. We saw some impressive performances across the first day of MPI, and among them was Royal Scout Team's Cooper Shrum, the 6'6", 185-pounder out of Belton High School in Missouri, struck out 8 over 6 no-hit innings versus Knights Nation. Jack McCartney cut up with Shrum for this edition of Dugout Chatter.
I'm here with Cooper Shrum, Tennessee commit, and the second-ranked player in Missouri for the class of 2026. Cooper, man, thank you for the time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so you play 3 different sports. You play football, you play basketball, and then you play baseball. How do you keep yourself in the top performance for each of those sports and going from one to the next one to the next one in such short time?
I just try to keep my body in shape as much as I can. Playing football, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of weight. Try to stay on my nutrition and try my best to eat a lot.
You're committed to Tennessee. What was the recruiting process like for the 2024 national champions, Tony Vitello, and all the studs he's brought in over the last year?
It was great. They had me go to a camp my 8th grade year. Fantastic people, fantastic coaches, players helping out with the camp. Just the whole college, the players, the fans are great. Just everything I was looking for, they had. Felt like home for me.
That's good. You're your 3rd MPI in a row. What is it like to face some of the top players in the nation 3 years as being a pitcher?
It's great getting out here to Georgia, getting to face some top prospects, really good hitters, and just great competition out here.
All right, that was great, man. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Some great stuff there from Jack McCartney and Cooper Shrum, a guy that you absolutely have to see if you're on campus this weekend, and obviously coming soon to SEC country at the University of Tennessee. Now, the on-field action is just part of the offerings here at LakePoint Sports, where we effort to provide a best-in-class experience that includes access to testing and player performance data that is redefining evaluation and recruiting. Located here on campus, the Curve Test Center gives athletes an unprecedented look at how they measure up through its ball, body, and brain approach to testing. Let's go inside the Curve Test Center.
We're here at LakePoint Sports, the site of the first Curve Test Center. There will be lots of Curve Test Centers, but this will always be the first. And why are we here? Here for a couple of reasons. One is if you think about the effort players are spending trying to get coaches to notice them, the effort coaches are spending trying to figure out who's actually any good, the poor parents who are sitting there saying, where's my kid headed? This is the answer for all that.
Everyone wants to be seen, right? Sometimes what can be seen is data. So it's hard to get in front of coaches at all these programs at once, or even the school you really want to go to. So using data helps us a ton. And as long as it's reliable and there's something that can give us better information with the small sample size is what we're looking for.
Test your athletic, cognitive, and baseball skills with TrackMan, Proteus, and more. Visit the Bubble here on the LakePoint Sports campus or sign up now at curvetestcenter.com. Don't miss this chance to level up your game. Now, our last game before the ones that we're looking to broadcast just wrapped up, so players are currently on the field going through their pregame machinations. We're going to take a quick break here in studio and come back with so much more from our MPI watch party.
Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Our LakePoint sports photographers deliver at the highest level, taking you inside the action here across campus. We have game day covered, and now you can not only see your game through our lens, but you can purchase photos as well. Just use the QR code on screen for the latest images with galleries uploaded after the completion of tournament and events. You can also go to lakepointsports.com or any of our social channels for more information. Welcome back, Cory McCartney with you. LakePoint Sports has partnered with IHG Hotels and Resorts, so athletes and families can stay where they play and enjoy exclusive savings as well. With over 6,000 IHG locations made for teams, families, and fans, you get comfy rooms, breakfast, and more. Score big savings at ihg.com/youthsports. As we hit our multi-view look and take you in to the action here as players are getting ready, we got a mound meeting down in the bottom corner between Slammers out of Colorado and White Sox scout team Slayton. The other two games are just in warm-up phase right now. So we're going to take a quick break here in studio. We'll rejoin you as soon as our action gets underway. You are watching the National Program Invitational Watch Party from LakePoint Sports.
coming to you in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, Cory McCartney, and I'm joined by Grayson Rosen as we await our first player guest here during our second day of the National Program Invitational Watch Party. Lincoln Boyle is currently on the mound for White Sox scout team. Arkansas commit out of St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Kansas, #1 ranked outfielder, by the way, in Arkansas in 2026. Currently showing out on the mound, running it up to about an 88 on these first offerings here as he's taking off this Slammers team out of Colorado. He's got a 1-1 count. Other 2 games, still waiting for them to get in action.
You're probably looking closer to 1 o'clock on the start for both of those.
Yesterday, we were delayed pretty good on our third game. Ended up keeping us on air longer than expected. But excited to see how today pans out. We had a lot of fun yesterday during our first day of action. Back at it again today. Austin Sickler is at the plate for Slammers right now. He's got a 1-2 count, sends that one foul. And quick defensive swing there from Sickler out of Brighton High School in Colorado. 5th-ranked shortstop in that state, 20th overall in 2026.
Yeah, Slammers definitely have a great crop of that Colorado talent on this squad.
Pretty much own the state.
Yeah.
Comes Boyle with the 1-2. Sickler puts that in play. His shortstop has it. Man, scooting across there.
Wow.
Man, that was speed at shortstop to make that play and speed on the base pass. Boyle's now going to be, did they get him or is he still?
He's safe. It went past
Okay,
the
I
first
thought maybe he was
baseman.
just catching his wind. He had a breakdown there so fast. Now we have a former feature gamer, Silas Muley from Legend High School.
Yeah, I actually caught up with Silas when he was with
That's
FTB
how you say
Phillies
it is Miley?
Yeah, I got to interview
So
him this fall.
it's M-E-U-L-I,
Yeah.
and it's Miley.
Sure is.
Okay.
Yeah, he was playing with FTB Phillies this fall, and I caught up with him. There's an extra basis out there if you want to go check it out.
There you go. Nice plug. None of our plugs are shameless. They're all warranted. 1-0 is how Boyle starts off this at bat against Miley, top-ranked outfielder in Colorado, 6th overall in the class. Again, he was here last summer for the feature games. Comes the 1-0. Just a little high, makes it 2-0.
I thought that one had caught the zone. But.
Sure did. Yeah, this Slammers team bringing a lot of guys, as you mentioned. They have 16 players ranked in the state, 2 Division I commits. Xavier, that's Alex King, and Chase Massey, who's on his way to Boston College. Meanwhile, White Sox scout team, 10 players with state rankings, 2 with national rankings, 4 players who have been future gamers or junior future gamers. We see a lot of this White Sox scout team, which used to be called Arkansas Sticks, but now they're the White Sox scout team. Chase Brewster does a fantastic job with this crew. 2-0 now the count here with Boyle and Miley. When does a U have that kind of a sound?
I have no idea, because when I first introduced myself to him and I went up for the interview, I was like, I got to ask, like, how do you say your last name? Because I was like, I had no guesses, honestly. And he said Miley, and I was like, really? I think that was like the last thing I would have tried to pronounce it as, but it is Miley.
Well, I take his word for it over ours. Now get a 2-2 count here.
So long at bat here for Miley. See if he can make it pay off.
He does, rips this one 93-2 off his bat. That one is down into the right center gap, and he's on his way to second base. The runner going to hold at third, and he's going to make his way back to first.
Yeah, they got that ball in real quick. Good work by the right fielder covering some ground there.
Well, hard hit ball off his bat, and Slammers in business here with 1 down in the inning and runners at the corners as they'll now turn things over to Korth.
This is exactly how you want to start. You don't want to let a starting pitcher like this settle in. So
Caleb Korth now at the plate out of Ponderosa High School in Colorado. Did you ever eat at a Ponderosa, or were those all closed down by the time you got older?
Never heard of it.
So Ponderosa was like a buffet restaurant, right? Okay. So you would go there and they'd have the salad bar and they'd have the guy that would like cut up all the meat and stuff. But there was still one when we would go down to Brave Spring Training in Florida. There was still a Ponderosa down there. But by and large, they're gone now.
Okay.
But Ponderosa was a big deal back in the day.
Interesting. Yeah, never heard of it.
Well, he goes to Ponderosa High School, which I'm sure their mascot's not like a salad bar or anything like that. That would be
maybe
really
they have one in the
bizarre.
cafeteria.
Oh, there you go. Caleb swings through that. It counts now 0-2. Austin Tambora stopping by now as we're going to have a pitching change here in studio. Yeah, just might be a little bit easier on you if we turn it around this way so it doesn't have to stretch so much. Put this behind your, just slide your arm underneath there. We're doing this all on live television, which makes it even better. All right, how'd the game go?
I mean, we were up 5-4-0, and we brought in a pitcher. He was struggling in the zone, so I mean we tied, but
okay,
we hit well.
All right. We're now joined in studio by Austin Tambora, 6'4" DP Cougars, 16U, North Cobb Christian, 2027, third-ranked outfielder now in Georgia, 12th overall. When you saw those latest rankings, what was the reaction?
I mean, pretty excited. I mean, going up in the rankings, like I wasn't noticed very much early about 2 years ago. Worked my butt off, and it's kind of showing. Yeah.
You had the top prospect games here at LakePoint earlier this week. Put up exit velos in 99.2, bat speed of 78. When you go into a showcase environment, do you have goals in mind? How do you approach an environment like that?
I mean, there's definitely goals, but it's really just putting my best foot forward. I mean, there's not many goals to it. Just do my best.
Obviously in the running for a spot in this summer's future games. How much have you thought about that? Is that a goal for the end of the summer for you to be here repping Georgia?
I mean, yeah, it's a goal, but I think it will come once I get going. I mean, get hot. Yeah, I think it's definitely a goal.
Well, you're definitely on the right radar.
Yeah.
Everyone's paying attention to you at this point. Hit .417 this season for North Cobb Christian. 7 homers, 12 doubles, 32 RBI. What was the biggest point of growth for you during your sophomore season?
Definitely consistency. Last year I would go 3 for 3, go 0 for 3. Definitely consistency. Most definitely.
You guys reached the Elite Eight, end up falling to Prince Avenue Christian, that coming a year after winning a Class 2A state title. How different was the season this year when you guys kind of have different mentality? Because you've been there, you've won it. How different, one, is it going into the year and then coming out of it being like, man, we got to get back?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of rough because we lost a lot of pitching.
Yep.
We had a bunch of pitchers. They were good arms. They battled, but it just came down to talent. We lost a lot of talent the year before, but our bats stayed hot. It's just pitching kind of just fell.
Is it hard to rebuild that drive? Because I know a lot of guys will say it's harder to go back and win again because you've done it. Now everyone's trying to gun for you guys, but you've already won, so there's like kind of this, you maybe don't have the same drive. Is it like that?
I mean, it's really hard winning 3 state championships in a row. So, I mean, it kind of gets to like an expectation, but it can't be that. The expectation's to win, but if you don't win, it's part of the game.
You hit a double back in February here at Georgia Dugout Club Tournament. I want to show this video right now of you hitting this double, and I have to ask about the end of this. So we're going to see you get to second base, and I can only describe this as an Irish jig. Is that what we're looking at here?
I got no idea. That was just our team celly, I guess. I couldn't tell you.
Did you? So it was planned. So you guys had already had it conjured up, and you were like, okay.
Yeah.
So how do you remember to do that when you get to second base? Did you remember to? I
have no idea. I mean, that was terrible. I looked at the video. I was like, that was terrible. I didn't do it again.
You didn't do it again?
No.
So what was it after that?
We didn't really have one. I mean, it just came down to it. It was like first couple games had a double celly. I was like, I just didn't really have one.
Are you doing the crane? Everyone's doing the crane.
I have not
summer,
done the crane yet. I have not done the crane yet.
So you guys at 6'4" don't have one?
We all have like I don't know. There's some weird ones, but I don't really have one.
Okay.
We don't have like a team one.
Yeah. So your dad, Steve, oversees the strength and conditioning program for Georgia Tech baseball. I know as a father, when I tell my kids to do stuff, they don't listen. Do you listen to your dad when it comes to strength and conditioning? Because he's like literally operating in your world, working with the guys who are where you're trying to get to.
Okay, I will say this. A couple years ago, I just never listened to him. And then I got in the weight room. I heard a bunch that he's just the best. Like, everyone loves him. So past couple years, I've really, really just worked out with him, listened to him, did everything he told me to do. When it comes down to cleaning my room, too. Yeah, it's definitely paid off. I've got a lot stronger. not just getting in the gym. Working out with him is like one of my favorite things to do.
So clean and jerks and clean your room. That's what you're doing for your dad.
That's exactly what it is.
So your mom obviously was a softball player at Florida State. Your twin sister is making a name for herself on the softball field. Tell me about that side of things, just how much being on the diamond is a part of your family.
I mean, they're unbelievable. Both of my sisters are unbelievable, so it's an expectation to go to a high level. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a very big expectation to get to.
Is it competitive amongst you guys?
Very. Oh, my gosh. I always ask to get at-bats against my sisters. My mom never lets me, but I don't think I'd be able to get a hit off both my sisters.
How hard is it to hit? Because I know a lot of people will watch softball pitchers and they're like, well, they're not throwing that hard. But it's rising. It makes there's a lot of cut to it. How difficult is it?
I mean, I think I would be fine, but I catch my sisters all the time. But, man, give me 10 pitches, I'll swing and miss 10 times. My older sister, she throws gas.
Does your mom still got it? Can she get it?
Oh, no, she's got it. She's got it, yeah.
Yeah, we had Jenny Finch here last year for the National Youth Sports Summit. She was won an award there, and she was talking about how she'll get in there with her players now and just school them, and they just don't realize it. You know, it doesn't leave that arm; it's still there.
You know, it's there, but she cannot throw normal. Like, she has to throw, like, she's trying to flip BP to me. Yeah. She has to go all the way around. It's terrible. It's really bad.
Does it take you, so if she's flipping BP to you and then you try to go in, and is it different than to switch and be like, okay, now the guy's throwing overhand? And
no, it's really just a feel thing.
Okay.
I mean, I'll get off the machine. She'll feed the machine for me.
Okay. So we got you, and we're going to have more information coming on the next couple of weeks in this as part of our first class of LakePoint athletes. We're going to have a crew come in. We'll be able to create some branded content around you guys. We've kind of told you some of the particulars, and I don't want to get too much away right now, but how excited are you for what's to come?
Oh, I'm super excited. It's going to be a great opportunity to do.
We're certainly excited to have you. He is Austin Tambora. You're going to see plenty of him across all the LakePoint Sports social channels. Austin, man, thanks for stopping by.
Thank
Best
you for
of luck
having
all
me.
week long. You're welcome, man. We're going to take a quick break in studio. We'll be back with so much more from our MPI watch party.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today. We are back now, joined by Shawn Duncan, president of Prep Baseball. You got to move the microphone closer to your mouth.
I'm not a professional.
No, you move it in more. You got to get it real close. It's bendy. Remember Gumby? This is like Gumby.
Gotcha.
All right. So you are back on campus here at LakePoint Sports National Program Invitational. You've had one day to kind of soak a little bit of it in. Who's made the biggest impressions on you so far?
Just the overall talent. There was the one slot yesterday where every pitcher on every field was like 94 plus, and we had 97 versus 97. And obviously, it's not all about the velocity. It certainly makes it exciting, but you also see how good hitters are. And there's been a lot of high velocity that's been barreled up too. So it's not a like, hey, you're throwing hard, you're going to strike everybody out. And these hitters are putting incredible swings on each and every time. So I think there was only one guy I saw yesterday just completely dominate, the Gio Rojas kid.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, Gio's going to be in here a little bit later. We're going to have him and Coleman Borthwick, both Prep Baseball All-Americans, stopping by. But Gio's gotten to the point where it looks like he's just toying with people out there.
Well, it's just such an easy 97,
yeah.
too. And he was an All-American. He was at a Prep Baseball All-American last year. I'm sure he'll be back this year. But that team's a really fun team to watch. That center fielder is electric. It's a Georgia kid.
Trevor Condan.
Yeah. I think he might be my favorite player I've seen so far.
He's going to be in here as well in a little bit. He always has the hood on. And I don't want to give him too much credit for it, but I feel like he's become a bit of a trendsetter because he started wearing those hoods a couple years ago, and now all these kids have them on regardless of how hot it is.
I thought that was just a West Coast thing. You see it a ton in Arizona and California a few years ago, but, like all styles, they all kind of, spread. So good for him. Pull off your signature look if you got it.
That's right. Do you have a signature look?
No, but I'm a little dismayed that you told me I was going to have some makeup before I came on here, and you rushed me in here. I don't even know how to put the microphone on. No makeup, unprepared. So I'm just we're just going to have to wing it again.
I'm going to just say that's a budget cut. That's why we ended up not getting you your makeup in time. So Alexander Cantwell was just at the plate for Canes 17U NST against Georgia Jackets up in the top left corner of that one. Georgia Jackets are in that game throwing Drew Harmon, Florida State commit out of Sequoia, 6'2", 222-pounder. He's a 2024 feature gamer, 13th ranked right-handed pitcher in Georgia. Dribbler back to Harmon. No, he's going to third baseman's got it on the run. Ooh. Some athletic play there, and is able to mow down the runner. One does advance 90 feet, though, to second. Do you have guys circled that you're watching today, or are you kind of just like take a step back and observe it all?
Yeah. I mean, we have like Shooter Hunt, and he has his whole army of guys that have everybody kind of triangulated, circulated, starred, and all that. So I'm just kind of watching with a wider lens and seeing not only baseball players, but seeing our operations and how it's all working together. And thank God, about 6 months ago, I put in a good weather request.
Well, no, this is not good weather because last week it was like mild and nice, and I feel like Georgia told all you people when you came down here not to get comfortable and made it hot.
It's not that hot.
This was not like this last weekend.
There's a breeze.
No,
hey,
last weekend was fantastic.
It's all about rain. Like heat, we'll take it.
Okay, as long as it's not raining, you're happy.
Yeah, or that the sunshine lightning thing throws me off as well.
So when you come down to an event like this and the national rankings have been set, and a lot of them have already been updated. We have the 2028s will be coming out very soon. How much do you let those rankings kind of dictate how you look at players and who you're going to look at, or do you kind of come in blank slate?
Blank slate. That's what I like to do is like when I go to events is like not even look at the rankings, just like this guy, that guy, what do we got on him? And so, because that's like once you start looking at all that stuff, there's a bias that creeps in. So I just kind of come in with a blank slate, and some could classify that as being lazy too. I'm unprepared, unlike you, who has like your notes over there is really super impressive.
Well, it's like a beautiful mind. You know how you have like the boy, like sometimes I feel like that. It's just like I know what it means. I know how to get around to all of it, and that's really all that matters. But I was curious about that because I think we look at things and say, oh, we got to go check that guy out. He's the number 2. Outfielder in Missouri. Let's go check this kid out. But to be able to detach from that and just kind of have your own. I mean, but you've done it long enough where you want to have your own analysis as well.
I'll watch teams for without knowing who what the ranking is. I mean, obviously there's some guys that unless you're living in a cave, you don't know who they are. But there's what I like about scouting is there's a lot of really, really good players beneath the super famous guys, and that's kind of like what I kind of am always looking for is the guys that aren't that famous yet. So, and famous, I'll put air quotes, just well-known, I'll say.
Well, there's going to be plenty of well-known guys in this San Diego Padres scout team that we're going to have in the upper right corner for you soon here against Team Elite. And that team, I watched those guys yesterday, and it's just between them and that USA Prime Aces National, I don't know how you navigate those lineups as a pitcher.
Yeah, and equally as impressive are the defensive play, across the board on those teams. And that Padres team is really, really good. I remember seeing that group when they were freshmen, and they did not look like freshmen. And obviously, they got a lot of really, really good players. And I really like their uniforms too. I wish they would have the Padre camo unis.
Oh yeah,
those things are sick.
Yeah, yesterday they were wearing the brown and yellow ones. Today they're wearing, like, I always think of Caminiti whenever I see this setup here. Tony Gwynn Caminiti, that's kind of that era. I'm sure they also have the City Connect versions of it. They're the
You think?
I almost guarantee they have to have those. The kids love those fluorescent colors, right?
Yeah.
But they look great. I mean, it is undeniable that they look good in these
I really
uniforms.
think that you would look good in like bright pink.
Well, I actually have a bright pink shirt from last September's All-American game because that was part of the look there.
You got to do it.
So this past one down in Miami, it was all the Miami colors, fluorescent. Looked like there's a tweak to the look this year. It's more centered around artwork.
Hey, when it comes to design and all that stuff, I'm usually like the last person to know because I wear the same stuff I wore back in like 1989. So like the same stuff I was wearing in high school. But yeah, there is a different look. You always want to change things up, and we have a really, really talented designer, brand guy who's go do your thing and show me what it is at the end. But yeah, it will be. There is a different kind of theme, if you will.
So in this San Diego Padres scout team game now, we're going to get a look at Elijah Williams out of Community Christian High School in Oklahoma, Texas A&M commit. He's the top-ranked left-handed pitcher in Oklahoma, 8th overall. He's a 2024 future gamer. See Jacob Lombard, the #1 player in the nation in 2026, making it look all too easy at shortstop there as he slaps gloves with Keon Johnson. Have both those guys, by the way, in studio yesterday. They're switching off today. Looks like Lombard's playing second and Johnson's sliding over to short. They were both a lot of fun. They've gotten to the point where they're just absolute pros at handling the interview game as much as they are on the field.
Well, I mean, Lombard technically is. I mean, his dad played in the big leagues, coach, his brother's fast rising prospect up the Yankees organization, first rounder. So, yeah, he's following in the footsteps, and I always feel like the younger brother is always going to be better.
Oh, did that get a piece of Williams? Did he jump out of the way of that one?
He may have clipped his spike. I'm not sure.
Well, it was funny. When I asked him yesterday, I said, being a father of multiple boys, the younger one always gets a little more credence, a little more leeway. So how did your parents handle things differently with you than they did with George Jr.? And he said they've let him kind of find his way a lot more than George Jr. did, because he was initially was a soccer player, and he's still playing soccer at Gulliver Prep. But they kind of let him find his way as a player, and maybe not necessarily saying they were pushing George Jr. in a direction, but certainly seems as though they've been a little bit more, a longer leash with Jacob, but he is finding his way to the exact same place that his brother is, who's now the #1 ranked prospect in the Yankee system per MLB Pipeline.
Yeah. I mean, I think with the younger brothers, just speaking from experience with my boys, is like you have to do less dad parenting, coaching, and just let the younger brother follow in the footsteps of the older brother and want to try to compete and be better than him.
Or not do what the older brother did and be like, that gets you in trouble. I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
We just saw Luke Nikowski strike out for Georgia Jackets in the top left against Canes. And he's obviously the son of Braves broadcaster C.J. Nikowski, longtime MLB player, spent 10 years in the majors. See CJ here quite a bit when he's not in the Braves booth. Top #1 draft pick that year. It was number 8 overall, I believe, in the first round.
Great career. I feel like I'm like a golden retriever chasing like a feather.
It's a lot.
It's like to try try to focus on one thing here, so I'm sorry if I'm not adding enough color.
Sometimes it's better, I find, just to have a conversation and let the game roll behind you while it's all going on. So that seems to be works a little bit better for me that way. Chip Glagorski now stepping in for Georgia Jackets. Caught up with Chip and his parents yesterday on the way out. Chip has been fantastic for Georgia Jackets for a long time now. To Kingsridge Christian, third-ranked catcher in Georgia and number 44 overall in the class. I was talking to him about this, as well as Gino Goralski, who was in here with me in studio. They have 19 ranked players on this Georgia Jackets team. 11 of them are uncommitted. And 2-3 years ago, that would not have been the case. They all would have been snatched up. But the change in the landscape and recruiting really has a lot. And I will say that the biggest thing there, how much that's going to help you guys at the end of this summer for senior feature games.
Yeah. Everything's turned on its head, and no one quite knows how to fully evaluate where it's going to head. Because if you know what's coming down the pipeline, you could then kind of prepare for it. But it's the trickle down effect of, like, what are colleges? What are they doing? They're historically the programs that are recruited earlier. They are now portaling instead of recruiting, and so the portal is a giant mess. Everyone knows it's been talked about ad nauseum, but I really think this is the year where it just completely implodes the system, and it's going to get out of control. It feels like 70% of the population is in the portal. You might even be in the portal.
I did not even know it yet.
I'm about to declare in the portal soon.
Did you ever watch like Battlestar Galactica and they have like the thing that they go through? I always wonder, like, the portal is like, there should be some literal portal as opposed to just being like, I'm entering the portal. You should literally have to go and enter some structure.
No, I've never seen
I didn't really watch it. I've seen a couple.
You ever seen Being John Malkovich?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the portal
I
see.
I like that.
And you get spit out at the base of the New Jersey Turnpike when you go through it.
So if you could do the baseball version of Being John Malkovich, which player would you go in to be to take over?
I mean, I'll take the easy pick because it's right in front of me. I mean, Jacob Lombard. I mean, it's hard not to want to be that guy.
Yeah, I would. And I'm not going to pander because he has been in here in studio with me and been at LakePoint Sports. But I'm a left-hander. I feel like I would want to take Jack Bauer to know what it's like to be able to throw that hard and make it look so easy.
Yeah, that's a good one. When he was here, he broke the interwebs. I mean, it lasted for a good week.
Sure did.
I was seeing the names of left-handed starters that, like, what was it, 3 guys in Major League Baseball history that's ever done that?
Unbelievable. I might also pick Coleman Borthwick just to know what it's like to be able to reach anything you can possibly want to reach, to be that tall.
And then,
throw 95.
And also, like, pile drive anything you want to pile drive if you had the desire to do so.
Although you would be limited in the vehicles that you could fit into if you were Coleman Borthwick. I'm going to ask him about that. Like, are there certain vehicles that he's like, no, like he's not getting into a smart car?
Yeah.
This is the kind of cutting-edge analysis you get
this
here.
This is really in-depth baseball speak here. That's what we try to bring.
We sure do. So we still got Drew Harmon on the mound for Georgia Jackets. Meanwhile, in that San Diego Padres scout team game, we still got Williams, the Texas A&M commit, on the hill in that one. Slammers, what are they throwing right now? Slammers has... Go to my extensive notes. They've got Carson Monroe on the mound. Carson, 2024 feature gamers out of Chaparral High School in Colorado.
Slammers has been the team in the state of Colorado for as long as I can remember. I mean, they just dominate the state with talent.
It's always interesting, like you mentioned that with them, and then obviously with Illinois you have top tier. And then you look at Missouri, Kansas, and you've got building champions. There's just certain teams that I feel like they just have strangleholds on the states.
Most states there's at least two to four really strong programs, right? And some might be slightly better than others. I mean, Missouri has a handful of really good programs. Illinois has a few really good programs, but Colorado, it's been slammers for as long as I can remember. They really have had a chokehold on that state, and Sticks, which is now the White Sox scout team. I know there's been some turnover there, but they've been traditionally a powerhouse in that area as well.
We also had the Colorado Rockies scout team here this past year as well. Had some future gamers come out of that as well, out of Colorado, obviously.
You never know if these scout teams are actually affiliated with the organization. I never heard of the Colorado Rockies.
No.
Yeah, scout team.
We have the Atlanta Braves scout team here as well. They're now combined with Smart Tents. Mark DeRosa was coaching them. I'm not sure if he's still in that seat for him. His son Brooks was on that squad.
Well, that's a good coach to have. I would love to have Mark DeRosa as my coach.
And they took him down to Truist and let him get some work in there. That one's roped into left field, and Canes making an action happen here against Georgia Jackets. That one's Canes leading 1-0 in the second on that one. White Sox scout team up 2-1 over Slammers. Meanwhile, scoreless and team elite and San Diego Padres scout team. We're going to get our first look at the Padres in action at the plate in this one. Long inning here for Harmon. See who Team Elite's going to throw here against Padres. That's Brody Benefield, Air Force commit out of St. Xavier High School in Kentucky. 6th ranked right-handed pitcher in Kentucky. Also got exit velos at 105 at the plate, along with a 78.6 bat speed. He was at feature games last year, repping Kentucky. Just a different kind of kid to commit to those service academies. And when you talk to them, just the mere hurdles that you have to go through to be able to get to have a representative or a state senator help to give you that pass to get in. And then you've got to, not only do you go through the application process, you have to wait to see if you get admitted.
Oh yeah, and then once you get admitted, you might fail the eye test, like a really super stringent eye test, or there's all types of things. And I have a good buddy who used to be the recruiting coordinator over there. He worked for us for a time being, Toby Bicknell, shout out, and he just told me kind of what he'd have to go through to get guys over there, and it's a special place though. I'm a big military supporter, and if you could get your college paid for 4 years,
that's right,
completely free, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Trenton Maben's at the plate for San Diego Padres scout team. His dad Cameron has been coaching this Padres scout team for a while now. Maben was previously a Duke commit out of North Carolina, now lined up to get a spot in Texas, playing for the Longhorns. He's the 4th ranked outfielder in North Carolina, 12th overall. He's 27th at the position nationally, 181 in the class out of Asheville. I asked the guys yesterday from this Padres scout team, they almost have like a rock star quality. Like there's this atmosphere that surrounds that team now. They've had like Drake at their games.
Yeah.
It's got to be difficult to zero in when it's time to just put that focus back on, but certainly a level of player that knows how to do that on this team.
But unlike some of those kind of show and go type of teams, like you watch them in pregame, you watch them how they warm up, they have a plan. They're doing. Obviously Maben played in the big leagues, was a great player for a long time. These kids are prepared, and a lot of these same kids are like the same guys I saw 3 years ago when they were freshmen.
Yeah.
So there's a level of continuity which is few and far between these days, and looks like the Padres certainly gear them up pretty good, because I'm a big fan of their unis.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about that, because when I was catching up with the Georgia Jackets guys yesterday, this is a team that's been together since these guys were in like 8th grade. So they're going through the last summer together. And they've obviously been a cohesive unit that has spent all that time together. And then you have this Padres scout team where they only get together for a certain amount of time, but it's been the same kids doing that. So while a lot of times we do see those quote-unquote super teams put together during the summertime, it's a bit of a different animal here with the Padres as Maben goes down on strikes.
Cohesive teams with talent will beat the super teams almost every time, in my opinion. The one dominant pitcher notwithstanding.
I'll bring it right to him. We're going to take a quick break here in studio. We've got Trevor Condan, fan favorite Trevor Condan, waiting in the on-deck circle. So, Shawn, we're going to take a quick break with you and bring Trevor in here. We'll take a quick break here in studio. I think it went dark again on me. I think we're going to have to close the door again. Oh, no, I don't look too bad, right?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. All right. Here we go. We're back. Yesterday we had an issue with the lighting in here. So we had Gino Glorowski came in here, and he had bright blonde hair in the white uniform, and it offset our lighting in here. So we now got Trevor Condan out of Etowah joining us, playing for U.S. Prime National / Aces National. I'm shopping the name U.S. Prime Aces, which I think is less of a mouthful. Are you on board with that?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So tell me about these teams coming together. You played for Aces National last year. What was the reaction, and then knowing the guys that you guys were kind of absorbed from the U.S. Prime side?
Well, it was more of the Aces team itself is still Aces National. We didn't really lose any players besides, I believe, 3 or 4 that aren't here.
Okay.
On top of it, we gained Denton Lord during, I think it was WWBA last year, and ever since then, it's just kind of clicked. Our team's energizers. I mean, we're just kind of all got along the first time we met, and it was kind of easy flowing. But we're some studs, I believe. So
yeah,
it's
daunting when we were watching you guys in action yesterday to think about how a pitcher navigates that lineup. What's it like to be in it?
It's pretty cool. I mean, me being a leadoff and having Coleman Borthwick after me, I mean, that's a big 2-hole right there. I know there's a little frightening to see him in the batter's box probably, but it's exciting for this team. I mean, you have a bunch of commits and a bunch of people who want it, and I believe we want it a little more than everyone else. So
now a Tennessee commit, you were part of the 2024 Future Games last summer. Tell me about that experience and then getting locked up with Tony Vitello after it.
Well, the Futures Game experience for me was probably my favorite experience I've had in a long time, besides state. It was just, I showed up with a bunch of kids that we obviously knew because we're from Georgia, and it's just we've been playing against each other our whole lives. And we all came out and we shined. And the connection I have with Coach V in Tennessee is something that I wanted. I mean, when I went up there for my visit, it was very, very structured, and it's the blueprint they gave out that really settled it down for me. I mean, it was, they explained why or how they got these players to the pros and what they expect to do with me when I get there, and I see no problem with me. So it was a done deal. I could sign it down there. I was like, let's go. Like this is my place.
Now the second-ranked outfielder in Georgia, fourth overall in the class, number 10 in the nation at the position, 38th overall. You got some love from Shawn Duncan on the way out. Shooter Hunt, the vice president of scouting for Prep Baseball, told me a few weeks ago you're a name that he has circled this summer for a guy definitely on the rise. How do you kind of not let all that get to you?
I just don't focus on it. I focus on myself in the game and just trying to win and be the best player I can. I just be myself. And my dad always told me, just do you. And so that's what I do. I just do me.
I got to know about the hood because I hate to give you too much credit here as a trendsetter, but since you started wearing one primarily a couple years ago, not only do we see so many of the guys wearing them now, but I'm seeing a lot of kids now who are jumping into the batter's box. Do you allow yourself to take credit as a baseball influencer?
I'll I'll take a little bit of credit, but I have to give credit when it's due.
Okay.
My boys, Bryce Adam and Jake Sainer, those are my best friends. And from last year, we were the beast of the outfield. And, it was almost like it's a cape pretty much.
I love that, yeah.
We believe that our outfield was untouchable, and it was. We didn't make a single error that whole season. That was the state championship run. And those were my boys, and it was just fun playing out there with them. And it was like we would run around, it would float like a cape. It was like we're superheroes, so it was cool. And they obviously graduated and they're killing it in college ball, and I got to keep it going. So I never take it off.
Is it ever get too hot down here in Georgia?
No. Never. Not
Never?
too hot for me.
Never?
Not for me.
So Etowah was number 2 in the nation. You guys end up losing to Lowndes in the state semifinals. You had walked it off in the bottom of the 8th, though, to make the Sweet 16. How do you kind of summarize a run that doesn't end the way you wanted it to?
Disappointing. It was disappointing, definitely. We obviously had our expectations to go for the 2-peat, and, it happens. Things happen. It's baseball. It's a sport. But what I believe in is what happens after that defines you as a player and as a program, as a team, your character. Like, that's what I believe in. So I think the losing is a sign from God to just take your next step and not worry about it and just take the next victory that you can. And honestly, probably as soon as you can. Like, I took no days off after that. I went straight after it just to go.
Your Twitter profile says in order to be number 1, you have to train like you're number 2. Tell me about that mentality.
I call that dog mentality.
Yeah.
Dog timing. That's what I stand on. I mean, if you know me personally, you probably understand that. I've probably told you that a little bit. But, it's as it says. In order to be number 1, you got to train like you're number 2. You always have to make sure there's someone better than you, even if you don't truly believe it. Like, that's just something that just gets me to be more disciplined day in and day out.
I know people who observe you as a player, parents, coaches that are watching, wonder what does a guy who has reached that upper level do that maybe they're not doing. So what are those things that you're doing completely away from baseball? Maybe it's more mental training, those things that you feel like are separators for you.
Honestly, I couldn't really tell you. I think I was just born with something that's a little different from everyone else. From what people have told me, they're just, you're different, Trev, you're different. I'm like, oh, thanks, guys. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'll take it as one. And, as I said, I just do me. And at the end of the day, if you don't like me for me doing me, that's not my problem. So I just do me.
All right, well, I know not only can you play ball, but you can sing as part of your team because Riley Sears got injured, and we have to show this video real quick of you guys harmonizing in the hospital. So take me inside this. So you guys start harmonizing Low Taper Fade. I had Jackson Rosen here. I wanted him to freestyle for me, but he would not do it, but I've seen his rhyme skills. Tell me about this one.
I mean, this moment is inspirational for us. Harder. I mean, Sears is a big part of our team. Low Taper Fade, Low Taper Fade, Low Taper Fade, Low Taper Fade. Boy, look at that smile on his face. Speaking of Sears, he's actually doing really well right now. I'm happy. Awesome, man. That is great. For all of us, especially since we were allowed to.
Of course it was one.
Bird Gang on me. Bird Gang on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bird Gang.
God bless them. That was probably.
I love you, boys. Thank you for coming.
That Low Taper Fade is that's inspirational for us. I mean, we just keep it going.
And this team is extremely tight, and I think that kind of shows it too. The fact that you guys came up together. I talked to Jackson about this. There was an expectation when you guys came up as 8th graders. Like, look, this crew's coming up, and this team's going to be good for a long time. And not only you guys done it, but you guys have done it together and stayed tight throughout.
Yeah, it's a great connection. I mean, our chemistry is through the roof. So we've obviously all grown up with each other. But on top of it, we all played at Hobgood. So it was like I played with Sharman since I was 6 years old. So me and him have always been close. I've played against Dion since I was 6 years old. So me and him have always been close. And it's cool that we all finally get to combine like that and just be Etowah Eagles, and the Bird Gang that everyone knows.
I coached at Hopgood for a long time, so it's cool to see you guys come up and be like that. One more question I want to get to before you get out of here. You had initially committed to Miami back in 2022. When you think about guys now who don't have that opportunity and they kind of just get to wait, how much do you kind of envy the player now that wasn't expected to make an early decision?
Yeah, I think it's actually probably a good thing that we have that rule out. I think a lot of the kids do the commitments as a social media thing and get it out there. Like from what I've heard from people who have decommitted from schools like that, they were like, oh, I just wanted to get there for the offer and all this stuff. But obviously that wasn't my reason for it. I had other reasons, and it's a trial to go through. I mean, and as long as you keep your head straight above the clouds and really worry about yourself and your team and what you can do to be the best, then your things and your glory should come with it, and it's all thanks to God.
Well, exciting stuff, and we are excited to see Trevor Condan in action this summer and next year as well at Etowah. Trevor, man, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
Always
for
great
having
to
me,
see you.
Cory.
We're going to take a quick break in studio. We'll be back. Plenty more MPI Watch Party coming your way.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Hey, welcome back. Cory, McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. This is a fluid situation as best as I can sum it up. We've gone from you to Shawn Duncan to Trevor Condan to you, and we'll be waiting some more players stopping by here shortly as our MPI watch party continues. We've got White Sox scout team have taken a 3-1 lead over Slammers. Canes leading 1-0 over Georgia Jackets. San Diego Padres scout team have a 2-1 lead over Team Elite. So we're bringing you all the action from our 1240 window here.
Yeah, these are definitely just some games you want to see right now when it comes to that middle section of the day. It's obviously about as hot as it's going to get, at least for the next couple hours
Shawn
or
Duncan said the weather was great, and I said, you should have been here last weekend. I feel like Georgia decided to put a warning on you guys so you don't stick around too long, because last weekend it was nice and mild. It was like in the 70s, and you're walking around like, this is what it should always be like.
Comfortably last weekend.
Yeah, now we're back to blazing hot here in Metro Atlanta. But meanwhile, we've got some great action going on here. Getting another look in this San Diego Padres scout team at Elijah Williams, the Texas A&M commit, still on the mound for the Padres. That one's in play. Keon Johnson has it, throws in time. So they switched Lombard and Johnson today. They were at second and short opposite side today. Today you got Lombard at second and Johnson at short.
I mean, when you've got two premier players like that, you might as well give them each their reps.
And I love the fact that they just seem so comfortable deferring to one another too.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like no, I'm the second baseman, I'm the short. You know, I'm the shortstop. That's my spot. They don't operate like that.
I mean, we talk about it a lot where there's just there's a surplus of shortstop talent around the nation because it's the most coveted position, and if you have the best glove in the infield, you're probably going to be playing there. So when you've got a super team like they do, it's a little bit of just fill your role for a day.
So being a Florida State guy, always like to get your thoughts here on Harmon on the mound for Georgia Jackets.
I love what I see out of him. Every time he's out here, he operates really well, and I mean, he's a guy that I'm excited to see on campus hopefully soon. But it's also nice to have a local guy too. One of the only Florida State commits coming out of the state of Georgia so far in 2026. I think he's the only one at the moment. I could be forgetting someone, but it's nice to see these kind of guys. And then, I mean, in that same class, Yoelkis Quevedo that came out here and hit that bomb last night. He's a Florida State commit.
Yeah, that was insane. It was a game-ending bomb. We can quantify it as a walk-off because they ended up winning by a run rule, but it was 420-plus feet, 108 off his bat. It was, I mean, he let loose a ridiculous bat flip, and for good reason.
Yeah.
But then the coolest part was after he crossed the plate, and the entire Padres scout team was out waiting for him right outside the dugout, and they all did the thing where they all jumped together.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It was a cool atmosphere.
I love these throwback Padres jerseys too.
Yeah, Duncan and I were talking about those. I think of Tony Gwynn and Cam and Eddie whenever I see these.
See, I was talking about this with somebody last night. Greg Maddox's time on the Padres was an odd time. And he was wearing that almost cream, but like sand.
Yeah.
Padres jersey, and the first name I thought of for that one was Trevor Hoffman. I don't know what all of the jerseys they have in their selection here for this Padres scout team, but I'd love to see one of those early 2000s.
Well, I saw the coaching staff had on the City Connect stuff. So my thought is they've got the pinstripe white ones, they've got these throwback ones that they have on now, and they've probably got the City Connects.
Yeah. It's a good selection.
Yeah, most of them probably have 3.
I wonder, do they have the, pardon me because I'm colorblind, but is it a brown primary jersey? Is that one of theirs?
No, because the ones that they had on yesterday were the current white pinstripe where it says Padres across it in brown and yellow.
Because I know a lot of the coaching staff had that gear, not the actual jersey, the uniform, but they had the shirts and the shorts that would go along with that one. So I wasn't sure. Maybe they've got that jersey available to themselves.
Well, while we're talking about the San Diego Padres scout team, Shota Darvish, the son of Yu Darvish, caught up with Lexi Bowden, and hear her interview with Shota Darvish.
Hey guys, I'm here with Shota Darvish, who is a pitcher on the San Diego Padres scout team and also the son of MLB pitcher Yu Darvish. I want to ask first about your outing last night with your team. You pitched 1 1/3 scoreless innings in relief. What was working for you?
Yesterday I just focused on location rather than velo, so I was able to locate my fastball, and my slider was working that day, so I was throwing a lot. I started for strikes, and I got a few swing and miss with it, so the slider helped a lot yesterday.
You utilize a 3-pitch mix. What kind of work have you put into those pitches over the past year?
I just changed a lot of grips. Sometimes it's working, sometimes not. I try to be consistent. So this offseason I've been working on how consistent I can be with my pitches. Because sometimes it'll move, sometimes it won't. So consistency is key. So I believe in that.
And a lot of top prospects on the San Diego Padres scout team. How do you guys motivate each other to get to that next level?
We all know that we're talented. So just being around talented guys definitely help us, motivate us. We want to be better than the guy next to us. So definitely helps.
I want to kind of dive into your background now. Obviously, your dad is very well known in Major League Baseball. Do you remember the first moment that you really thought about playing the sport, or when you picked up a baseball?
It's probably when I was 7. See my dad with the Rangers, just going to the game every day. It's damn, I want to do this one day. So probably around 7, it's when I knew that I want to do this for a living.
Do you remember going to ballparks growing up and watching your dad? What was that like?
It was awesome. As a child, just seeing your dad. Not a lot of people get to see that. So just seeing your dad throwing high 90s and striking all-stars, making an all-star team, just surreal to see.
Definitely can be motivating for you. And I've seen some viral clips of you throwing a BP to your dad acting as a catcher. What is it like to practice together? How often do you do that? And what advice does he give you?
During the off season, we do that a lot. In season, there's not many times, but in off season, we try to get work done every day together. He teaches him a lot. He doesn't control me as much as I get older. He kind of let me do my own thing. Just he wanted me to figure out on my own and be smart so I can grow without him. So yeah, definitely in the off season I work a lot with him.
I bet it's been cool to see, or for him to see you grow from a little boy to the high school pitcher that you are now. You've overcome some obstacles in your career. You dealt with an elbow injury over the past year. How did that make you a stronger player?
It's definitely hurting. My freshman, sophomore year, I was hurt, elbow injury, and definitely ruined my mental health. But just like I'm not used to it now, so I'm ready for it. I just want to get better and stay healthy, and doing all these arm care and stuff. Definitely, those injuries definitely helped me to where I am right now.
And as you start to enter into your upperclassmen years, what has your recruiting process been like?
It's been slow. I've been hurt, so it's been slow. But this year I'm aiming to ball out and get some to my colleges this year.
Love it. Great chance here at the National Program Invitational to ball out, as you say it. So best of luck, and thanks for the interview.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll have more coming from the NPI all weekend long.
McCartney and I joined by Coleman Borthwick, Auburn commit out of South Walton High School, playing for what we are now referring to as U.S. Prime Aces. We're combining them. I like that name better. The other one is just if you put them it's too much of a mouthful.
Yes, sir, it is.
So coming South Walton High School, you're back here, the top-ranked third baseman in Florida, 4th overall, number 2 at your position nationally, number 11 overall. You were Prep Baseball All-American last year. You're coming back this year.
Yes,
Tell me about that experience and being like, I got to go do it again.
Well, last year whenever I rolled up, it was my first time ever doing some kind of event, and I was all excited and stuff, and all the gear and stuff, and I was like, all right, I got to do this again. Playing at the Miami Marlins Stadium, it was different. Like, it was awesome.
Well, you won the home run derby there. Tell me about that. I mean, you obviously put on an absolute show that we got to watch, but what was it like to experience it?
It was very special because I went up there. To be honest, I didn't think I was going to win. I was looking at all the guys' power, and I was just like, uh-oh. I just went up there, I started swinging, and it just came out good for me. So.
You and South Walton had a 21-game winning streak that was snapped in a 3A title game. How do you view a season that had such a fantastic run that didn't end the way you wanted it to?
Yeah, almost everybody on the team thought we were going to win it. To be honest, that's probably why we lost. We were expecting to come in and win it, but it turned around. The Miami Springs boys put it on us, just whooped us.
That was your last run with Charlie Wilcox, who's now slated to go to Georgia Tech if the draft doesn't change all that. Tell me about what you learned from Charlie, a guy that's just really kind of, I mean, there's a huge mental side to pitching that he seems to embody.
Yeah, his mental side is kind of like, he kind of works. He's the hardest worker I've ever played with, and he kind of takes that onto the mound and basically puts that in his mind. I'm the hardest worker here. I'm going to compete and just trust what I could do.
What did you learn from him specifically about pitching?
Shoot. There's so much. Probably from just the spin efficiency of whenever reaching out towards the plate, just like using your legs. That's what he kind of taught me. He was telling me just to get down the mound because he's all into that stuff. Like I'm telling you, he's Trevor Bauer.
Extension and all that. Just trying to obviously use a 6'6" frame to get down as far as you can down the mound. So your dad Nick coaches you at South Walton. What is that relationship like? How much do you guys have rules in terms of when we can talk about baseball and when we've just got to be at home and be father and son?
Not really. It's kind of all 24/7 baseball. I mean, he loves it. I love it, and it's a love-hate relationship. We're always going at each other. I'm always trying to just basically prove him wrong. Like whenever he yells at me, it makes me want to just beat him. That's really what it is.
Did you ever get to the point where you just, because I know for a lot of us who have coached our kids, it seems like there's always a point where they don't listen to you anymore. Do you listen to your dad as your coach?
I actually do, because ever since I was 5 or 6, he's been coaching me, and like he's my number one. Like he's my reset button. So like whenever I'm struggling, I just go to him and I listen to him. Even though I don't like it, but I listen to him.
During our action Thursday, you picked up from Gio Rojas in the third. You threw 16 pitches, 13 of them at 91 plus, topping out at 93. How was the arm feeling, and was that pretty much just light work?
Yes, to be honest, I just came in, just fill up the strike zone, get us out of the inning. I think I came in with runners on first and second, 1 out. My goal was just to get weak contact and try to just get us back in the dugout so we can score more runs.
When you look at this last year, are there certainly the state championship, when you think about what's ahead in the high school season, is sitting there. That's the end goal. Do you have numbers that you're eyeing in terms of the velo at the plate or on the mound? Is there anything like that you've got set up goal-wise?
Never really. My goal was basically just to win, no matter the cost, either throwing 88, 96, 97. It don't matter for me. It's just as long it's how I perform at the end. And at the end of the game, that's all I care about.
Tell me about the Auburn commitment. I mean, this is a team you think about guys that, I mean, I spent some time around Chase Frey, like a guy that's a little bit close in size to you. Where do you see yourself fitting in terms of the Tigers, and what was the draw?
Oh, the Auburn Tigers, the coaching staff's awesome. Butch Thompson, Nonamaker, all those guys are homegrown guys. Like, they trust their guys. They're not guys that will go out if you do bad. Oh no, we're changing you out. It's like they stick with their guys and they're going to run with you, and I love that.
One last question: when guys look to players that have reached a certain elite status, I think everyone wants to know, what do they do that I don't? What do you feel like are those separators for you that maybe something you're doing on or off the field that other guys aren't?
Me, it's the mindset. Like, I don't let the pressure. I feed off of it. Like, whenever pressure situations come up, that's me. Like, I love that stuff. Pressure for me is just like, it's just awesome. Like, anytime it comes, that's when I perform. I love it.
It's like a Pez dispenser with pressure coming out.
Oh,
you
yeah.
just devour it, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, he is Coleman Borthwick. He's going to be a prep baseball All-American once again in September. Coleman, thank you so much, friends. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck the rest of MPI. We're going to take a quick break in studio, make a pitching change here with me in the desk.
We're here at LakePoint Sports, the site of the first Curve Test Center. There will be lots of Curve Test Centers, but this will always be the first. And why are we here? Here for a couple of reasons. One is if you think about the effort players are spending trying to get coaches to notice them, the effort coaches are spending trying to figure out who's actually any good, the poor parents who are sitting there saying, where's my kid headed? This is the answer for all that.
Everyone wants to be seen, right? Sometimes what can be seen is data. So it's hard to get in front of coaches at all these programs at once, or even the school you really want to go to. So using data helps us a ton. And as long as it's reliable and there's something that can give us better information with the small sample size is what we're looking for.
Okay. Curve Test Centers is redefining player and performance data when it comes to evaluation and recruiting. Test your athletic, cognitive, and baseball skills with TrackMe and Proteus and more. Visit at the Bubble here on the LakePoint Sports campus or sign up now at curvetestcenter.com. Don't miss this chance to level up your game. We're now here in studio with John Sters, Auburn commit out of Alabama. John, man, good to see you. Congratulations. Going to be a two-time prep baseball All-American. Tell me about the experience last year and getting to go back again.
It was probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite event I've ever been to last year. It was great, being down there. It's a great field, playing against those guys. The whole experience, they do a really good job of, obviously it's fun to play. That's the fun part, but the whole experience around it, the banquet, all that kind of stuff, the home run derby, all that is really enjoyable.
When I think about stuff like feature games, as you've been a junior feature gamer before in All-American games, the catcher's job has to be by far the hardest thing that anyone has to deal with, because each of these pitchers that gets in there, they just want to run up the radar gun. They just want to push the velo. So how difficult, one, is it from the catching standpoint to get to know these guys quickly and then make them look good?
It can be a little difficult because you've never caught somebody before, and they're throwing mid-90s, good curveball. They all got all different types of stuff, and so it can be a little difficult. But I try and catch it in the bullpen. I try and ask them as many questions as I can, try and get to know them. That's actually what me and Gio were just talking about how well I can get to know him, because I haven't caught him a whole lot, and so it is a little difficult, but it's kind of fun. You get to know someone you've never caught before, get to know something about them, get to learn about them, and that's part of being a catcher, and I enjoy that part. I think it's fun. It can be difficult, but in the end, it's part of it. I think it's fun, but just ask them as many questions as possible.
So you mentioned it, Gio Rojas, who's on this USA Prime National / Aces National, which we have now are referring to as USA Prime Aces because the other was just too much of a mouthful. But you've got both Gio Rojas and Coleman Borthwick, who are both prep baseball All-Americans that are on this team with you. You and Coleman could wind up at Auburn together if the draft doesn't end up working in favors a year from now, where we're talking about that changing. But what's it like to be on this squad right now this summer with this level of arm?
Oh, it's awesome. It's we've switched the name around a little bit, but it's pretty much a similar team we've had for a couple of years. And so, every year, like before I came here, I was like, I'm really excited to be here, just because it's insanely high quality baseball. Everybody on the team is a extremely high level baseball player, and so it's fun to be it. But also, there's some of my really good friends. So there's a lot of good camaraderie and a lot of good chemistry, but also we're playing really good baseball. So it's a good mix of both. So I love it.
I got to be honest, though. I miss the Aces Nationals colors. I just thought they looked real. Not that, these Prime uniforms are fantastic, but you guys, it was always different. The Aces just looked different than everybody else, but obviously you guys all look good in these USA Prime uniforms as well. Talk about the Auburn commit. What was the ultimate deciding factor for you when it lined up for the Tigers?
Well, it was from a tweet or something, and I talked to them over the phone. I ended up going to a camp, and I don't know why, my mom went to Florida State, my dad went to Naval Academy. No idea why I've been an Auburn fan my whole life, but I always have. I've always loved Auburn, and so that was always kind of the school if I had to pick a school when I was 10 years old. And so I went to a camp, did well there, and then they offered me, and I was like, well, why not? Why not? And so it's a great campus. I love the coaches. Obviously, they've had a great year this year, and Auburn is more of a homey feel for me, and it's close to my where I live, and so that was kind of the decision. It's always been a good dream school of mine, and I love the campus. My brother and sister both went there.
The number 1 player in Alabama, number 2 catcher in the nation. We've got you with pop times down to 187. What's the all-time record for you?
Well, I threw a 182 the other day.
You did.
I don't know. I only see it when it's recorded here or somewhere else, and so 182 is probably pretty good for me. I'm extremely happy with that.
How much stock do you put in? So I ask you this because a lot of times we'll see catchers going through the pregame warm-up. We'll see the throw down to second. How much do you show them for real what the arm can do, and how much do you let off a little bit to see if maybe they're going to try to run on you?
Sometimes I'll start the game with kind of a lollipop, but I do it more for me. I want to feel good because if someone steals, and because I've had moments where someone's stolen in a big game and it's been slightly inaccurate, and I probably haven't taken the in-between ones as seriously as I could. And so I do it more for me, about just trying to feel it out, make sure everything's good, and kind of go from there. But sometimes I'll start the game with a lollipop just to see if they'll run.
Okay, before we get you out of here, do you have a warning for that class of 2027 at the Prep Baseball All-American game? Do you want? I don't know how much you watch wrestling. Do you want to throw a promo at them, let them know what they can expect with you behind the plate?
Yeah, hopefully. I guess don't run.
There you go.
Don't run.
All right, do not run on John Sters, class of 2027. You have been warm, man. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Sir.
Congratulations on a return trip to Miami. We're going to take a quick break. Gio Rojas is up next at our MPI watch party.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back to our MPI watch party. Gio Rojas, Miami commit out of Stoneman Douglas, now joining us in studio. He was a prep baseball All-American last year. Gio, man, good to see you. Dude, you absolutely were lights out dealing yesterday. Tell me about that outing.
It was good. I felt good coming into the game. Felt good coming into the complex, honestly. Something that comes usual from high school. I'm just trying to stay throwing strikes, stay consistent with all my work, and just try and beat me out there.
We had you struck out 8 over 3 in the third, 97. Tell me, long term, do you have a velo goal?
The velo goal is always 100. Always trying to improve, but either way, I'm trying to go up 1 every time I'm throwing. So 98 is the next goal, 99 is the next goal, and then 100 is the next goal. So there's always something to go for.
I remember a conversation I had with Christian Rodriguez before he hit Florida, and he was going to triple digits. He said the biggest thing for him, because of stature, like you, I mean, you're not Coleman Borthwick size, was building that lower half. So what's the mission, and what's the path to make that happen?
Just being able to provide for myself, like working out, doing a little bit of extra stuff behind the scenes, and being able to come out and improve myself. Just try and get better. Always.
Everyone who looks to players of your ilk always wonders, what do they do that I don't do? Do you feel like there's stuff that maybe you're doing, whether it's stuff on the mental side of the game, recovery stuff that maybe somebody else isn't doing out there right now?
The game is very mental, and I've learned that over the past years. Being able to work past the struggle and being able to come back from an injury, or being able to work harder and do something better than somebody else. That is a very mental thing, and it drives you. Honestly, it makes you feel better, and it makes you like provide for yourself and try and get better and try and be better.
Do you have things in game that you do to flush away failure? Are there like resets that you have? Does it tick you off when something doesn't go right?
Usually I just smile. So that's what it is. Just smile. I mean, nothing really ticks me off unless it's something that doesn't go my way, but either way, it's the game. It happens. Just got to smile it off and shrug it off and go to the next pitch.
Now, the top-ranked left-handed pitcher in Florida, number 3 overall in the class of 2026, top-ranked left-handed pitcher in the nation, number 5 overall. You can't go any higher than number 1. How do you hold on to number 1?
Just trying to, be better. You just got to always work on, just keep working. That's all you got to do is you got to outwork the competition. You're already at number 1, so you have a target on your back. So you just got to keep doing you and try and stay in that lead.
I mentioned your outing yesterday on the mound. You also go 1 for 2 with 2 RBI at the plate. How much pride do you take in getting it done at the plate? Because I think a lot of people look at you and primarily what you do on the mound. How much pride do you take in what you can get done at the plate?
I mean, I'm not seen for a hitter, but I love hitting. Hitting's always been a passion since I was young. So I take a lot of pride in that. I mean, I'm a team hitter. I don't try and do too much, but I like to win. So I like to provide for my team and try and win the game and do little simple things that I know we could work off of.
You and Stoneman Douglas just won a fifth straight state title in May. The first Florida high school team to ever do that. You guys wore the Drive for 5 shirts. How daunting is it to win 5 straight state titles?
It's crazy. Going into that school, you already have the pressure and you already have a standard to live up to. So the senior class and the senior class before that, they hold you to a standard and they hold you accountable for being able to build your team and being able to just try and provide. And we played as a team all years. From what I've seen, everybody was a team player. Coach Fitz was very good at it. At practices, he was never like a me guy. He was he never tried to have anybody be a me guy. He's always trying to provide for a team and try and win. He knows how to win. I'll tell you that.
So it was Drive for 5. What's the mantra for the 6th one? What would it be?
I'm not sure yet, but he'll come up with something.
I like 3-peat repeat. So if you want to throw him that one, I think that's pretty solid right there.
I was saying fix for 6.
Oh, I like that too. Okay, sprint for 6, fix for 6, whatever. If it's one of the ones that we've thrown out today, we should get some kind of finder's fee for it.
Yeah.
Or at least get a free T-shirt or something along the way. So you were just named Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Florida. Congratulations on that. Tell me about how you found out and what the reaction was.
So I found out actually with a call. So my dad had called me I was actually at school. I was taking a test, and he said, when you finish that test, call me. So I stepped outside and I called him, and he told me like everything that went down. He told me that I was Gatorade Player of the Year. So I was like, wow. I mean, I didn't even know how to go back into class. Honestly, I just couldn't stop smiling.
What's your favorite Gatorade flavor?
Probably just like the regular dark blue one.
What's that one called? You should get it for
Some
free
grape.
now, but you should
It's
have
like
like
a grape kind of flavor.
Okay, there should be like a case of it when you come home. It should
Yeah,
be there because
should.
that should be part of the deal when you get
Mhm.
Gatorade State Player of the Year. You have the letter K on your glove.
Yes, sir.
Take me inside that.
You know, stands for itself. The K is something that I look at and I try and just do what I do. And during the season, I got 120 Ks. So,
So you looked at it 120 times.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I like the K.
You're a guy that obviously exudes confidence. There's just an easiness to you. Does the game ever change that mentality? Because you talked about smiling and making things go away. When can you remember the last time you were frustrated in a baseball field?
It's been a while. Like, it's honestly been either since my freshman year that I've been frustrated. Because I think I let up a couple back-to-back hits and wasn't hitting my spots, so I got in my own head, and I was just getting frustrated. I mean, but now that I've learned that the game is all mental and, like, being able to smile through a struggle or being able to mentally cope with yourself and just bounce back the next pitch, that's how I've learned to just be dominant and be consistent. Being able to smile makes them mad as well. Being able to smile the next pitch after a kid hit a home run off me at St. Thomas, came back smiling the next pitch and struck him out. So, I mean, just being able to just have that mental game is honestly a good part to my game.
Well, giving plenty of people reason to smile watching him in action. He is Gio Rojas. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Wishing you the best of luck the rest of MPI. Appreciate you stopping by. We're going to take a quick break in studio. We'll be back with so much more of an MPI watch party. That was cool.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back. Once again, Grayson Rosen has rejoined us. Unlike an actual game, we're allowed to bring you in and out of the lineup.
Yeah. I just kind of pop in whenever I need to be.
There's a lot of blonde hair in this Georgia Jackets game. I know I was talking to Gino about that yesterday. Chip is naturally blonde hair, but a lot of these guys on this Jackets team just have flowing blonde hair.
Yeah, I think that's Luke Nitkowski there, number 1.
Yep.
With the blonde.
So we've had a long list of guys stop by, and it's been fantastic. We had Prep Baseball All-Americans in Coleman Borthwick, Gio Rojas, John Sters. Also had Trevor Condan, who something tells me could wind up as a Prep Baseball All-American himself by the end of September, considering the glazing that we're seeing from Shooter Hunt and Shawn Duncan in his direction. And then Austin Tambora joined us as well. I almost forgot that Austin joined us. It was so long ago. Yeah, so many guys have stopped by. But been a lot of fun to be able to bring you so many of these big-time names that we have here at NPI. And San Diego Padres scout team up 3-2 over Team Elite. Not anymore. That one's all notched up at 3-3. Georgia Jackets lead Canes 2-1 in the fourth, and White Sox scout team has raced out to an 8-0 lead over Slammers. That one's in the fourth inning.
Yeah, we've got a lot of baseball to play here in all three of these games, and a lot of close games other than obviously White Sox scout team getting out to a healthy 6-run lead there over Slammers, but a 2-0 game for Georgia Jackets and Kane's national scout team.
Drew Harmon still on the mound for Georgia Jackets up in the top left corner. San Diego Padres scout team have made a pitching change. Let's see who's on the mound for them. We currently have, this is when you have way too many notes that you're going through. Jaden Gross out of Walt Whitman High School in New York is on the mound. 6'1", 180-pound righty. Pumps that in for a strike, 89.1 out of his hands.
Walt Whitman's a poet?
Yeah,
right?
well, yes, he was. And I think for a lot of people, they had never heard of Walt Whitman until Bull Durham.
Oh, okay.
So Walt Whitman's brought up repeatedly in Bull Durham. Also, Brian Snicker makes an appearance in Bull Durham. Did you know that?
I did not know
so
that.
So when Annie has her mirror, she has a number of cards, baseball cards of Bull Durham players, of the Durham Bulls players on her mirror, and Brian Snicker is one of them. So
how crazy is
yeah,
that?
next time you go back, he's got a nice mustache in that one, considerably younger than the guy that we see right now. But I think we're about to see some magic in this White Sox scout team.
I think that might have been the
just
last
happened.
hit.
It was 102 plus miles an hour in that one. Yeah, it was the pitch before, but yeah. So go back and watch Bull Durham. You'll see Brian Snicker on screen in that one.
Good to know. Yeah,
Brian, it's actually been brought up to him before, so he's well aware of it.
I think it was a 104.4 mile per hour single. I'll go and see who was on the other end of it.
The Padres scout team down 4-3 in the top of the third. Getting pressed a little bit here by Team Elite. They have 4 runs on 5 hits. The Padres have 3 runs on 3 hits. Both teams have made an error in that game. Meanwhile, Georgia Jackets, they have 2 hits, 2 runs. Canes, no runs on 2 hits. And finally, this.
Oh man, I just watched the replay on that by Sean Cover.
Sean,
straight comebacker at the pitcher, and it just soared past him.
Yeah, Sean Cover, certainly a special player for White Sox scout team. Southern Miss commit out of Conway High School in Arkansas. He was at the feature games in 2024 and 2023, and the junior feature games in 2021 and 2022.
Wow, so he is familiar to LakePoint and Lake July.
He's made 4 straight appearances. I almost feel like Sean should decommit just so he can come back this summer and be part of the senior feature games, but I'm sure Southern Miss would not like that very much.
Yeah, they probably don't want to hear that.
But, man, could you imagine that if he was 5 straight years of being a feature gamer in some capacity? That would be some kind of a record, I would imagine.
I would think so. It's already hard enough to make the future games twice.
Yeah, Shawn Duncan got a little mad at me that he got a quick hook, so I extended him an offer to come back if he wants to. But he got superseded by Trevor Condan. At least he was kind enough to give Condon some love on the way out. So we've had video of guys harmonizing low taper fade. We've seen Austin Tambora dance. We've seen you eat a hamburger. I'm trying to think what else we could add to this broadcast to provide a little bit more nonsense. Something pops up along the way, I'm sure we'll roll to that. Speaking of rolling to things, Matt Kemp is here as his nephew Josiah is playing for the San Diego Padres scout team. We all know what Kemp has done in his career, 3-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove Award winner, 2-time Silver Slugger, and runner-up in the NL MVP in a year in which he should have won over Ryan Braun. I'm throwing that back out there. But Lexi Bowden caught up with Matt Kemp, and here is her interview with the multi-time former All-Star. Maybe we act it out.
Yeah.
So, Matt, you're here to watch your nephew play for San Diego Padres scout team. How excited are you to see him in action?
Apologies, misclicked.
All right, here is.
Well, I'm here with Matt Kemp, former MLB player, 3-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover, 2-time Silver Slugger. You have a lot of titles, but right now, here this weekend, you have a more important title as you're kind of coaching the San Diego Padres scout team. Tell me a little bit about the role.
it's a role of many different hats. This is something I never really saw myself doing, but honestly, my nephew kind of motivated me to get around the game more, and I had the opportunity to coach with one of my former teammates, Cam Maben, and just be around some really great baseball players. I played in the minor leagues with George Lombard, Jacob's dad. So there's a lot of connections, a lot of kids here, and a lot of people who I've known since they were kids, and it's really cool to see these kids like flourish and almost become Major League Baseball players, and them getting to live out their dreams.
And I will ask a little bit more about your team, but just starting with your nephew, Josiah, what is your relationship like with him? How much does he lean on you for baseball advice?
I mean, he leans on me a lot. We kind of lean on each other. Like I get feedback from him, he gets feedback from me. I just try to see what he's looking for and different things. But the game is changing a lot, and there might be some things, honestly, that he might teach me that I don't know about the game, because the game is just speeding up. It's getting faster. Guys are more athletic, and it's just changing. It's evolving. But to be here, his last year of summer ball, to be on one of these great teams and get to play with some of the best players in the country and against the best players in the country, this has been a blessing. So to see him and to be able to coach and honestly mentor a lot of these other kids and just see them doing what they're doing, this has been really fun and special.
And Josiah's committed to play at Oklahoma University, where actually you got a scholarship for basketball. Obviously that did not pan out, but what went into that decision with Josiah? Did he talk to you about it at all?
I mean, that was he made that decision pretty early. I think it was pretty easy because it was somewhere he always wanted to go. His mom went to OU. I have aunts and uncles and a lot of people from Oklahoma, that went, they all went to OU. So it's kind of a special place for the Kemps, and we have a lot of ties there and a lot of special things. They have a great baseball program, especially for outfielders, and Reggie Willis being there, somebody I played against for a very long time in the Major League Baseball, and it's a great place to be. They're in the SEC now, so they get to play against all the good teams, all the best teams in the nation. So good conference, good school, and he makes really good grades too. It's a good school for academics as well. So it's all the above. It's all good. It's all good.
Well, awesome to hear he's great in the classroom and out of it. You talked about a lot of the talented players on your team. If you had one piece of advice, even kids watching it who want to excel in high school and beyond, what advice would you give them?
I mean, that's a loaded question. There's so many different things, but honestly, it's just be consistent, work hard. Some of those cliche things that everybody says, but I mean, if you outwork, everybody, the game's going to give you what you give to it. So I just say keep working hard. Honestly, keep having fun. This is a game. I was telling the kids yesterday when we were driving back to the hotel that I would have never, I couldn't fathom like the type of attention that they get now as being like high school players. Like we didn't have social media and all these different things. We had like scouts that didn't look like scouts. They were hiding in different places, but I can't imagine walking up to the plate looking and seeing every major league scout, every college scout. That's a lot of pressure, but for them it's just to continue to have fun. This is a game that everybody's been playing since they were 4 years old, and just have fun and just play hard, and whatever happens, happens.
And they can only hope to have a major league career like you did. Well, I ended on a fun one about your playing days. What's been your favorite moment of your playing career, or maybe like a battle with one pitcher out there?
I mean, there's so many. I mean, I've only got to play. I've got to play in a lot of playoffs games. Only one World Series. My first at bat, I hit a home run in the World Series. That was pretty much a dream come true. I think another cool thing was, me having this. I'm getting a lot of flack for this Padres situation we have going on.
I bet.
A lot of Dodger fans in my DMs asking me what I'm doing, but I think this is bigger. This is bigger than baseball, and I told them to be able to coach the best players, kids in the world, and also get to coach my nephew is a blessing. So it's been fun. But I say wearing this jersey, I hit the first cycle in Padres history, so that was pretty cool. So I mean, that was another highlight. Those aren't easy to do, so I got to do that. So
many to choose from, but
there's a couple. Yeah, there's a couple, but I mean, I played for a while, and I mean, it's just living out your dream is very fun. It's not possible for everybody to do that, and I tell them like that's the only thing I want from them is to live out their dreams and to be able to do whatever it is they want to do.
Well, I can really tell you love what you're doing.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for kind of giving us some insight into that.
Thank you.
That was Matt Kemp. We're going to have much more coming from the National Program Invitational.
Lincoln Boyle, by the way, just keeps dealing for a White Sox scout team against Slammers. He just looks fantastic right now. Line on him, 4 innings pitched. He's got 6 strikeouts, a couple walks. He's allowed just 1 hit. They are up 8-2 over Slammers. Meanwhile, Georgia Jackets are leading Canes 2-1 in the 4th. San Diego Padres scout team at the plate. They trail by 2 in the 3rd against Team Elite. Noah Wilson, another prep baseball All-American, currently at the plate for the Padres scout team. Had Noah earlier in our Barnsley Resort player spotlight.
Yeah, already 1 for 1 in this game.
I mean, this guy just, it's absolute power and speed when you're talking about Noah's game. I mean, it's just absolutely undeniable. Runs 6.44, exit velos at 104.6, bat speed north of 81 miles an hour. He ropes that 104.8 off his bat. That's into the right center gap. Noah Wilson loses his helmet. It's going to make his way into second base. He's going to hold there. No, he's on his way to third. Is he going to make it? He will. In fact, Noah Wilson left his helmet way back at first base, and he's got himself a leadoff triple for San Diego Padres scout team.
I mean, that's a pretty good reflection of how that speed works. He slowed down like almost to a stop at second base and still made it easily to third.
Vanderbilt commit out of McCallie High School in Tennessee roped that hardest hit ball I've seen this weekend.
I mean, him and Keon Johnson in the lineup at Vandy would be pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's not a fair assessment. We had 108 off that Quevedo home run last night. So, hardest hit ball in play.
Yes.
104.8.
At least on today's broadcast, it's the hardest hit.
Yeah.
It tops the 104.4 that we had seen.
Now we get Jacob Lombard. So you go from Noah Wilson to Jacob Lombard. He's first pitch swinging. Can the shortstop make the play? He cannot. 95.8 hits off of his glove. And Lombard's got an RBI, and that one is now a 1-run lead for Team Elite. And back-to-back balls just annihilated by these Padres. They are seeing this pitcher all too well now as this game's rolling along.
It's just a ridiculous stretch in the lineup. 2, 3, 4. Noah Wilson to Jacob Lombard to Keon Johnson. And then you set it all up for Yudelkis Quevedo to come up after that.
Yeah, can't blame them for trying to catch the breath right now because after what these last 2 batters have done to see Noah Wilson, 104, gets himself a triple. Lombard follows 95.8 to get the RBI single, and now you got to deal with Keon Johnson. Cannot imagine a pitcher not feeling a little bit rattled after that.
Yeah, and also now your lead down to just 1 run here, and I say it's the early goings, but we're well into this game. Let's see what he's got to offer for Keon Johnson.
Had a lot of fun in studio with Keon yesterday. I mean, we talked about him after his appearance. Just the way he carries himself is just so different. And now he's got an opportunity to continue to eat into this deficit that Team Elite has created against the Padres scout team. We've seen so many heroics from him on these fields. Go back to that home run he hit against Texas last year. Well, his was against Florida. Reese Durham's was against Texas, but that home run he had against Florida. Lombard takes off for second, slides well past the bag, and got him trying to steal second. And that was a lot of extra sliding there by Jacob Lombard. He was a good 4 feet away from the bag when he was done. So now the bases are cleared for Johnson. He's got an 0-1 count. One of the few missteps we'll probably see from Lombard in these fields. He skies that one, gets under it a little bit, 74.3 off his bat, and that is caught for the second out. I'm sure Keon's going to want that pitch back.
Back pick.
Lincoln Boyle back to work for Padres scout team. He is allowed just 1 hit as that one sits in the bottom of the 5th inning. He's got Brush at the plate. Brush ropes that. Shortstop has it, throws the second to complete the ending double play. Through another half, White Sox scout team up 8-2 in that one. What a great play.
Oh, that one's crushed out to left field.
Yeah, Templeton at the
caught
plate.
out there, though.
Aldridge, excuse me, at the plate for Canes.
I'm sorry, didn't get caught. That was a single.
Yeah, that was Kennesaw State commit Ellis Aldridge with the single for Georgia Jackets. That's going to bring up Dylan Meehan.
We just saw Udoki's Quevedo just swing straight out of his shoes there and hit the deck. See if he's trying to beat that exit velo number from yesterday.
Yeah, he annihilated a baseball yesterday, as I mentioned, to finish off that walk-off run rule win. That video has exploded on our socials. Misses on that elevated pitch, makes it 2-2. Meehan looking to build on this Georgia Jackets lead here. They had their hands full against the Padres yesterday, ended up losing 9-0. Quevedo again delivering the exclamation point in that one. And those are two, I mentioned this with Shawn Duncan, the fact that you kind of have these, the Padres are a different version of a super team because they do keep these kids together.
Yeah.
But this Georgia Jackets squad has been together, and that's 85.8 off his bat. Third baseman throws in time. That'll bring it in to the inning. San Diego Padres scout team able to cut the deficit to 1, though. But these Georgia Jackets kids have been together since they were 8th graders. Talking to Chip Gogorski's mom yesterday, and she said, I can just see the weddings of these guys like all being together and all being each other's groomsmen, because they're all best friends. Like Chip said, like even though this summer is going to be the end for them, he knows these relationships aren't going anywhere because these guys have been together for so long. And I think we do get excited when the Canes roll in on their bus and the Padres come in here and they've got these guys from across the country that are coming together to do damage. But there's always something to be said about the cohesiveness of the way that these teams come together, of kids who can spend years together building that chemistry and camaraderie.
Yeah, and I think the other nice part about it is that they're all relatively local to one another. So, they're playing against each other in the high school season. So, though this summer could be the end of it, some of them are teammates at the high school level, and they'll certainly cross paths on the fields in the spring.
Like Lombard switching over to shortstop for the Padres scout team. Got Hudson Phillips at the plate right now for Georgia Jackets. He's hitless so far. Phillips, King Ridge Christian, so he is Chip Gogorski's high school teammate. It's got an 0-2 count. Swings through that. He goes down on strikes, and that brings it into the inning. All three of our games are currently in a bit of a hiatus. It feels as good at any point for us to take a quick break. So it's commercial time here in studio. We'll be back with more from the MPI Watch Party.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back. Cory McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. Drew Harmon back out for another inning of work for Georgia Jackets. They're leading 2-1 over the Canes. Meanwhile, White Sox scout team still has that 8-2 lead over Slammers, and San Diego Padres scout team down 1 against Team Elite. That one's in the 4th inning. That was a very quick, by the way. That inning for White Sox scout team lasted about as long as our commercial break did. They came on right before we went to the break, but Drew Harmon back to work for Georgia Jackets in the left there. Spikes that one. Gogorski's going to watch that get away and ask for another baseball.
Yeah, they're going to say that one hit him in the foot.
All right, well, runner aboard via a hit by pitch. So far, Harmon has allowed 3 hits to the Canes. And this is like more like the Miami-looking Canes. This isn't like the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was unfamiliar, as Chip and I were talking again. I keep bringing up our conversation, but he said that when the schedule first came out, we all thought they were playing the Canes national team.
Yeah, so this is Canes national scout team.
So these are the guys they send to check things out ahead of time?
I guess. I'm not sure.
They report back and let them know. Right now they're losing 2-1 in the 5th. Harmon right now is, let's see who he's facing. He's got Charlie Johnson at the plate out of Oceanside Collegiate Academy in South Carolina, 13th ranked shortstop in South Carolina. He is 56th overall,
Nice
weak contact.
Good work by Harmon getting out all by himself there.
Runner did advance to second, though, so that does put the tying run that much closer to home. So with 1 down, see who Canes are going to bring up now. This is Matthew Ulinci out of Ravencroft High School in North Carolina. That's not one of the Harry Potter houses, by the way.
Does sound like one, though.
It does. Ulinci starts off the ball 1 in this matchup with Harmon.
Meanwhile, Dawson Vaughn at the plate for Team Elite scout Jaden Gross. Got the first out via the punch out. We'll see what he does here on top of the 4th.
Here comes the 1-0 in that one. Make that 2-0 as Gross spins around. Swing and a miss. Man, Boyle just keeps dealing for White Sox scout team. He's allowed 1 hit so far, as that one is in the 6th inning.
Got weak contact there to the shortstop and an easy play over to first for the second out.
Boyle has 6 Ks in his outing. Harmon's got 4. Gross has a couple as he's come in relief for Williams. Dribbler, third baseman has it, throws in time. Runner will stay at second base.
That was the first out there for Slammers and White Sox scout team.
I meant the Canes and
I
Georgia
was
Jackets
correcting
one.
myself.
All right, there's a lot going on right now. Shawn Duncan said he felt like a golden retriever where you're constantly just getting pulled in different directions. It does make you a little more understanding of like NFL Red Zone, but they also have a producer in their ear that says, we're going to this game, we're going to that game. We are literally doing this ourselves. The throw down, Lombard wants the ball get away from him. He's had a couple misadventures. The bottom of the 3rd and the top of the 4th there at second base.
Jaden Gross just about had to hit the deck to get out of the way of that one.
Well, credit him with a stolen base there for Team Elite. 1 down in that inning, full count.
Georgia Jackets making the move away from Harmon, pull him after 4.2.
They just bring in A.J. Rice to pitch.
Number 46.
They did, in fact, bring in A.J. Rice.
It's an interesting call for relief pitching.
Yeah, you bring in an Auburn commit out of Pickens High School here in Georgia. 3rd-ranked right-handed pitcher in the state, 9th overall. He's the 24th-ranked right-handed pitcher in the nation, 77th overall. A 2024 feature gamer. Rice runs it up to 93. He's got a changeup. Sits around 83, curveball around 78 to 80, and a slider that sits 77 to 79. And so he will be a handful for this Canes team, who's already down 2-1 against the Jackets.
And for that only game that's in progress at the moment, Jaden Gross run into a little bit of trouble so far in this inning, and you can ill afford to give up more runs here.
And your current batter for Team Elite, Saluk, puts that in play. The throw over to first in time for the second out. But yeah, they give up another run. Scores now 6-4. So Trey Saluk out of the Masters Academy in Florida comes through with the RBI ground out.
It's a pretty awesome name for a school.
The Masters Academy.
Yeah.
They just learn about the Masters.
Golf.
Yeah.
They just talk about Augusta National.
Yeah. Walter Hagen's their mascot.
Yeah.
Or I would imagine like a yellow flag would probably be their mascot.
Yeah, or maybe like a pimento cheese sandwich.
Oh, there you go. That's all they serve.
Yeah.
They serve the master's menu at the school.
That'd be awesome.
And it's all the same price. And the school's bleeding money on the food side of things.
I mean, it is just white bread.
That is true. Slade Wayne at the plate.
Ooh,
Throw over to
You don't see the
Lombard.
back pick
No.
there to second a lot. Nearly had it, too.
I love how Gross just kind of like...
He just not worried about getting out of the way.
Slade Wayne from Palm Beach Central in Florida is at the plate now. He's a 12th ranked catcher in Florida, 106 overall in the class. Gross with the 0-2. It's going to miss. Meanwhile, ground out there gets Rice out of the inning. Georgia Jackets continue to lead 2-1. White Sox scout team 8-2 lead over Slammers. That one's in the bottom of the 6th inning. This is certainly a surprise of the day so far that Team Elite has a 6-4 lead over the Padres scout team. Wayne rips that back foul. Yeah, it would certainly be the surprise, I would think, of pool play if Padres, especially after what they did to Georgia Jackets last night, end up losing in their follow-up. I thought maybe we might see Gio Rojas pitch again in this tournament, but he did inform me that the next time he's expecting to pitch will be for USA Baseball next week. So.
Okay.
Said either Tuesday or Wednesday. So we will not see him on the mound again here at LakePoint Sports, even if USA Prime Aces, who we have now been given credence to use that as the name, end up making it the championship game. I do hope we are going to be airing the broadcast of the 17U championship game scheduled for 12:20 on Monday. That my fingers are crossed that one of the 17 teams that I have done research for is playing in that game.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to sit down and do more game notes ahead of that one.
Oh, you don't want to do more notes, Cory?
It's yeah, I cannot tell you how many untold hours were spent getting ready for these 3 days worth of watch parties, including the player interviews that we've had so far, and got more coming tomorrow. It's been a lot of fun so far. Tomorrow we've got Rocco Maniscalco, the top-ranked player in Alabama in the class of 2027, is going to be joining us. So excited to have Rocco coming by. A number of other players are going to be stopping by as well. So it's been a lot of fun so far, and plenty more to come here on our final day of these watch parties. We'll take a break from that department on Sunday and be back again for that championship game on Monday. Cy Chrisman's going to lead things off for Padres scout team to start off the inning.
For Georgia Jackets, looks like Luke Nitkowski stepping in the box, I believe.
Yeah, that is in fact Luke, the Georgia Tech commit at the plate.
One thing he does as he steps into the box, and I knew it was him, he pulls up that back sleeve. Not sure what it is that, compels him to do so, but keep doing it. Got you an offer to Georgia Tech, so it seems to be working.
That's because, and maybe I should ask CJ about this, but I'm pretty sure every day is arm day in the Nitkowski household.
Probably.
Miss outside, count now 1-1 here to Luke. His dad, the 9th overall pick in the 1994 draft, would go on to spend 10 years in the majors with 8 different teams. Who did CJ spend the most of his time with? Do you know? I saw CJ pitch in person for this team.
Was he a Tiger?
He was.
Was it that? Okay.
Yep.
I feel like I've heard him talk about on a broadcast his crossover with there was some player that he crossed over with for 1 year. I can't remember who it was.
Luke flies out to left field, so now 1 down in the inning. Yeah, I always enjoy talking to CJ. He's definitely got a unique perspective on things, and Luke being the youngest boy, much like when we were talking with Jacob Lombard yesterday, the second son, when you're talking about sports families, always has a different journey. They get a lot more leeway, a lot more ability to find themselves and not face the same pressures that the older brother has.
Chrisman just put a bolt into that one. Is that going to go? No.
It's caught 100.2 off the bat. They just signaled out. So there is one down. So he rockets that 100.2 off his bat, but he's out. So a very loud out. Speaking of Nikowski's, the show he hosts on MLB Network called Loud Outs.
Yeah.
We give him a further plug and have a loud out in that one.
CJ for having to watch Braves baseball this year, too.
Josiah Kemp's now at the plate, the nephew of Matt Kemp, and we saw that interview with Lexi Bowden earlier.
Whole lot of major league lineage here.
Yeah, absolutely. Josiah, Oklahoma commit out of Westmore High School in Oklahoma. Top-ranked outfielder in Oklahoma, but he is 4th overall in the state, 46th at his position nationally. Oklahoma has just been, I mean, a lot of credit to the Holiday family, but they have been churning out players of late.
And they all seem to go to Oklahoma State or Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And that's probably even more credit to the Holiday family if they're going to Oklahoma State. Good block right there behind the plate.
I was trying to. They had the catcher last year, Cash Williams.
Yeah.
Another Oklahoma kid. Yeah, he was a lot of fun. We actually had Cash was at Super 60 in February. Williams puts that in play. Kemp makes the hard hit ball, but stopped it by the first baseman, able to cut that off, and now 2 down in the inning. 2 hard hit balls by San Diego Padres scout team. 190 and nothing to show for them.
I feel like you're not going to see a lot of not hard hit balls from that squad.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what they do. But unfortunately, you have balls that are hit that hard. You expect to have at least have a guy on base, but that does not happen as Chrisman and Kemp are out. Now we got Devin Diaz at the plate.
Avery, would you like to join us?
Yeah, I think Avery Hunt's going to step in for a little bit. So once again, this not being a real game, Grayson Rosen's allowed to exit the lineup but come back in. Yeah. All right, Avery Hunt's going to step in. Used to seeing Avery on here. It's an oddity that we would be this far along into a broadcast and having not seen him so far. So welcome back, man. We've it's been a warm seat so far. Not to get a little weird with this heat, but been a lot of guys step in. Good to have you back. This is always a interesting event for you. You don't set the schedule for this, unlike you do for so many of the tournaments that we have. How much does your role change for MPI as opposed to every other event that we have here?
Besides the schedule, that's just about it.
Okay.
Still walking around, talking to everybody, making sure everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And besides that, that's really all. Only thing that changed, always good having Kyle back in town. So if anybody has too many problems, I just send him to him. For 1 week a year. It's his deal, not mine.
Well, we had a drive-by Kyling yesterday during our broadcast as Coletta made his way past. We gave him a shout-out on air. We couldn't get him to stop. He was at a breakneck pace making his way through the concourse here. So, but he did thank me for the shout-out later on. So give him another one here. We are down 1 game now as Slammers and White Sox scout team is now over with. Georgia Jackets are leading 2-1 over the Canes, and meanwhile, I think the surprise of the day so far, San Diego Padres scout team are losing against Team Elite. We just had 2 balls in that game by Chrisman and Kemp that were 100.2 and 90.1, and neither one of them ended up with them on base.
Yeah, it's hitting a lot of balls hard right at guys. The Team Elite guys are putting together some pretty good at bats, so and kind of keeping tabs on that one so far. So. It's a little bit shocking, but, the Team Elite group, they're historically and every year they've got a group full of dudes, so not too surprising. But, on paper, this Padres scout team, we saw what they did yesterday. So, a little surprising there in the 3rd slot here today.
With 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th, Chip Legorski is going to step in for Georgia Jackets. And I mentioned a couple times here on air, I caught up with Chip and his parents after their game against the Padres scout team yesterday that ended up with a walk-off home run to secure the run rule. And I just walked over and I said, what was that like? And he's like, yeah, those guys are different. Really no way to equate it. Legorski pops that one up 63.5. Who's got it? Shortstop does. It's going to be out number 2 there in the inning. You've spent a lot of time around Ryan Williams in this Georgia Jackets squad. I know this has to be a little weird for them that it's all ending this summer.
Yeah, I know. It's been weird because we've seen these guys come up from the time they were 14 to now. So Ryan will still be here, but, his core group of guys that we've seen forever, this is kind of their last go-round through the summer circuit. So that'll be weird next year, seeing the Georgia Jackets without all those notable names.
Bryce Gillis is currently at the plate for the Jackets. And they are up 2-1 over Canes in that one in the bottom of the 5th. Chip's mom did say she anticipates seeing weddings down the line, though, where they're all each other's groomsmen and stuff, because these guys have been together for a very long time. They've been playing together since they were in middle school. And, I mentioned this with Shawn Duncan when he was on earlier. What's staggering to me is the fact that they've got, and you just got to check, do a name drop for me. Tell me who just texted you.
We got Charles Culberson.
Okay.
Culberson Baseball.
Yeah, he would be, who would he be?
Charlie Culberson, the big leaguer. It's his dad.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
It's always fun to see the names that pop up.
Yeah, you get to name. That's like the thuds of name drops sometimes when you're around. But yeah, the fact that these guys have been together for so long, but a team of kids locally who go and put themselves out against these big national teams. It's always an interesting approach, the dynamics of summer baseball and travel baseball, when you get the super teams and you get these teams of kids that have kind of developed together.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because you see. A lot of guys that are, those local teams have played together forever, compete deep into events, and sometimes you have those super teams that kind of fizzle out, whether, one thing or another. But, it's always interesting. I think we've talked about it before. Baseball is a lot different. Your pitcher can throw strikes and you can get people out. You don't really need that much, team chemistry overall as long as you swing it, compared to like a sport of basketball where, you got to know where your guy's going at all times.
Yeah. I was stunned looking through as putting together notes on all these games, and I knew this because we've spent so much time around these Georgia Jackets kids, but they have 19 players on their team that are ranked in the state, but only 11 of them are uncommitted. Yeah. And it kind of just speaks to how crazy the recruiting scene is right now. And talking to Chip yesterday, it's I think they were all under the assumption that they wouldn't be waiting this long in the process, but certainly they are kind of victims of the current state of college baseball, and it's trickled down to these summer months where these guys are waiting to find out what's next.
Yeah, it's, with the transfer portal and, all that, the new recruiting rules that came in a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, you're 14 years old and you're the guy on a 14-year-old team. You're committed by the end of, your 14-year-old year, and now that's changed. So it's a weird, crazy world out there right now in baseball recruiting.
I think it's almost got to be harder on, as much as these travel teams, you get on one and you want to be showcased during the summertime, and you build up these expectations with these kids. Okay, August 1st comes, you're going to get those phone calls. The way things are at the high school level now across Metro Atlanta, I would feel like it would almost be harder to be a high school coach right now, because if a kid feels like he's not getting the opportunity with you,
he can go somewhere else.
He's going somewhere else.
Yeah. And that's everywhere. It's at the, collegiate level too. I'm not getting the at-bats I want. I'm not getting the innings I want on the mound, or, the NIL check's not enough. I'll just, I'll just bounce out next year. That's not just in baseball. I'm sure, everywhere you look, and, basketball, football, everywhere. We have a few people on our staff that have, last year we had one of our staff members that played softball, and she entered the portal in the middle of the summer and was going through that, and it's just I have no idea how that even works. I think they said 5,000 players were in the portal 2 days ago. That's already surpassed last year in college baseball, and it's just for the college coaches too. How do you come to an event like this, watch these guys, and also make sure the guys in the Cape and the Northwoods League see what they're doing. It's a full team effort for those guys once the season's over, trying to see everybody, guys in the portal, high school guys, stuff like that.
So you kind of just all summarize why I could, and obviously I would not have the resume to do so, but to be able to be a college coach, because it has to be so hard to be able to make and break promises, because as much as you're talking to these kids and saying, I want to get you in here, I got a spot for you, and then all of a sudden somebody transfers in, or you have somebody leave, and now your needs change, and it just has to be such a difficult time period to be able to live that life right now on all ends of it. The throwback to second, Lombard's going to have him a rundown. He will not. They'll take third base off the steal on that one. We got Brody, by the way, Brody Benefield at the plate right now for Team Elite. 6'3", 190-pounder on his way to Air Force. Exit velos of 105 is the max on his profile.
That works pretty well.
Yeah. 6'3", 190-pounder. Was here last summer for feature games.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying with the college recruiting, I mean, I couldn't even imagine. You know, you tell kids X, Y, and Z, and then all of a sudden a better option comes available, and it's like, well, sorry. You know, because those guys are, you know, college coaches. That's why they get paid. They get paid to win games.
And well, look, Jack Bauer, who we had here, just decommitted from Virginia because his coach took over at Mississippi State. Now you've got a whole bunch of kids at Virginia who are maybe weighing different options. You've got kids at Mississippi State who may not want to play for that coach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's tough. And then you've got all these guys on our fields right now, these 2026s and 27s who, as of August 1st, are going to be able to be in contact with coaches that all want to figure out what's next for them. Man, as much as, like, I think we need it for the NIL side of it to try to figure it out at the collegiate level, there needs to be, like, some overall commissioner in college sports, the guy that can really, you know, lay down some real guidelines and rules, because clearly Mark Emmert and the NCAA aren't going to do enough, and that one's going to get past Lombard, and that's going into center field. And the lead gets bigger for Team Elite as they plate 2 more. They are now up 8-4 over Padres scout team in the 5th inning. And, man, changing the complexity as that bracket gets a little bit closer to materialization in that pool.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, the NIL is, in theory, really a good thing. But there needs to be some sort of, you know, we got to figure out some sort of legislation on, you know, regulating it to an extent. I mean, I saw the other day there's a Power 5 guy was like, hey, just so y'all know, we've got guys texting guys on our roster. Can't do that, but, you know, just so everybody on Twitter knows. So, yeah, it's just like it's the Wild West. You know, you've seen it, guys in football talk about it. It's like, yeah, I'm recruiting my players here and also recruiting high school kids and also recruiting guys that are in the portal. And it's just like at some point, you know, something needs to be figured out with, you know, how all that works.
Well, I think ultimately it's just going to drive guys out of the college game and say, if I can go do this at the professional level, I don't need to mess with this stuff anymore. You're going to lose a lot of guys who can help develop players that aren't going to want to do it anymore. And I mean, that's why we have Nick Saban on television now, is because he was just like, I'm not messing with this stuff. A.J. Rice back on the mound for Georgia Jackets. He's got 2 down in that inning. Meanwhile, Team Elite, they're going to be sending Jack Ryan to the plate here. So we've had Jack Bauer and Jack Ryan. So we've got all the character names summed up here. Indiana Jones is going to be up a little later this inning. That's a great name, though. He was a 2024 and 2023 feature gamer for Ohio, a 2021 junior feature gamer. We also had a guy, Sean Cover, playing for White Sox scout team, whose last 4 summers have ended with some form of feature games.
That's awesome.
So I feel like he's on his way to Southern Miss, but I've put it out there. I feel like he should decommit and come back for the senior feature games this year.
Just one more time.
Just one more time, and let's see where it goes.
Yeah, let's just see what happens. Might as well.
Yes, I'm going to get a cease and desist from the Southern Miss coaching staff off of that one. We got a pitching change for the San Diego Padres scout team. Now they're going to give us a look at, let's see who the new pitcher is. It's going to be Michael Virgil from Westminster Christian, Florida. 23rd ranked right-handed pitcher in Florida, 93 overall in the class. So the righty takes over for Gross. That one's in the 5th inning. Bottom of the 6th between Georgia Jackets and Canes. We got one more day of this for you tomorrow, so then on Sunday I will rest the instrument, as they say in the business, and then come back on Monday for a championship game. So are we going to get rain this weekend? Is it supposed to rain tomorrow?
What is today, Friday?
See, this is what I mentioned yesterday to Grayson, that this is one of those tournaments where you forget what day it is.
I've not known what day it is since May the 10th.
Okay.
Like, I have no idea what day of the week it is. I know when the event starts and I know when it ends.
So today is Friday.
Okay. Sunday is the bad day.
Sunday's the bad day.
Yep.
Okay. So that could cause some havoc for bracket play.
Yeah.
What's the fallback plan?
I mean, obviously, it all depends on what the weather actually does. I'm sure if anybody watching or listening has ever been to Emerson, Georgia in the month of June or July, they can predict one thing and it do a completely other. And then it could last for 10 minutes. It could last for 5 hours, you never really know. So obviously we have some space on Monday to kind of backfill some games if we needed to. Obviously, with bracket stuff here, we can kind of adjust consos, stuff like that. If we, last resort, you cut down on some game times, whatever it may be. There's a lot of different ways to dress it up and make it work. So, as always, we hope it doesn't come to that. But if it does, we've seen it before, so it won't be, hopefully, won't be the end of the world.
Gino Goralski at the plate right now for Georgia Jackets. He skies that one. Looks like it's going to be allowed out. Did you see Gino's hair, by the way, when he took the helmet off?
Has he got the blonde?
Oh, yeah, but he has a blonde, and it's like a massive amount. He was in studio with me yesterday. He said his mom's really mad at him because he has senior pictures coming up, and he's got this bleach blonde mop on top of his head that they'll be able to look back at in 20 years and be like, why in the world did you do that? But it was all about camaraderie for Denmark as they hit the GHSA state playoffs.
Yeah, just, give a shout out to my dad. Doubt he's watching, doesn't know how to work YouTube or any sort of technology, but that was the last time I was ever clean shaven. My face was clean shaven, was for my senior pictures. He said I needed to look professional.
Wow.
Sorry, Dad. I've been doing this for 7 years, and I've had a beard the whole time.
Well, we're just both looking unprofessional in here then on a Friday in Emerson.
That was his thing. He's like, you got to shave. It's like, Dad, you have a beard, and you go to work every day. But whatever.
Well, you go clean shaven to get the job. Once you have the job, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. First day, I showed up with a full beard and hair down to my shoulders, and Matt Yarber and Kyle didn't care too much. So thankful for that. Shout out to you guys.
So this is not, you're saying prep baseball is not the Yankees.
Yeah, we're fully on having beards now.
Got a drive-by by a tractor here as we're moving along, and here comes the Shrunk 3D booth.
Tell them to park right there, block the sun.
Yeah, heck yeah. Would you ever do the Shrunk 3D? So they do a full body scan of you, and then they make like a miniature version of you that could be. I feel like the funniest thing for it would be to get like some kind of like microphone on it, and then make it and put it somewhere, and pull a prank on people and be like, I'm shrunk, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Like what happened? I woke up, I was little. That'd be fantastic, right?
Yeah, I like that. I don't know that I would do it. I don't think the world needs a 3D figure of me. I'm not important enough for anything to have my own action figure. So,
well, it's an in-action figure because it doesn't actually move.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, if anybody wants to pay for it, I'll do it. But
okay. I feel like we need to like have a maybe we'll do this with Gino as he's going to be one of our first crop of LakePoint athletes as we dip our toes into NIL and do some branded content around some guys here on campus. Maybe we get Gino in there to do the Shrunk 3D with his blonde hair, I'm sure, to see if they have that color of blonde in their palette.
I'm sure his mom will be thrilled about that, too.
Yeah. And not only do you get senior pictures of him with his hair, but here's a statuette of him that you guys can keep forever, put on the mantle.
Padres scout, get out of the inning. Nice 92-mile-an-hour fastball in the corner. So.
But they're still trailing by 4. They're getting into and I say the difficult part of their order. The entire thing's difficult when you start looking at who they line up, but they will look to try to eat into that lead as we move along and believe that they're going to send their bottom 3 guys in the lineup, and then we'll be back to the top of the order with Trent Mabin. So see if that is the case. They have a 4-run deficit in that one. Meanwhile, Georgia Jackets still up 2-1 over Canes. They've got Ellis Aldridge, the Kennesaw State commit, at the plate right now, and he's got a 2-1 count. Was that a B? Did we just see a B come in here?
Very well could have been.
Charles Tobler's on the mound right now for Canes. He's a College of Charleston commit, 2026. He does have a teammate on this team who's a 2025 who is also a College of Charleston commit, and that's Carter Harrington.
I thought there's worse places to go to school than Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
But I've been there a few times. I think I could find a few places out there that, I'd rather, Charleston probably be over when it comes to going to school. So.
Well, I'm going to be making a trip to Shipyard there in a couple of weeks to watch some 15U baseball.
There you go.
Yep. Tobler on the mound. We got him with a fastball around 93.2. See what he has in store here. This 3-2 count here to Eldridge. That one dribbles foul. Did you ever play at Shipyard?
I did not. I've never been there, shockingly. I've been to Charleston 5 or 6 times, and, being the baseball person I am and the business that I'm in, you'd think I would, make my way over. It just has never. Granted, when I'm not here, I try to avoid baseball fields.
Yeah.
My wife tends to drag me to baseball fields that I don't want to go to because we have to watch somebody play.
Yeah.
So, it's a little bit of a step up last week or Wednesday before the event started. Got to watch some T-ball action. It's a little bit different universes here, and you show up here yesterday and you got 5 or 6 guys that are 95 plus.
No one's 95 plus off a tee?
No, we did. We had backward helmets on. It was great.
Oh, awesome. Carter Winders is the batter for San Diego Padres scout team out of Crockett County High School in Tennessee, 5'10", 205-pounder. He's a 9th-ranked catcher in Tennessee. Try to get things started for this Padres scout team facing a 4-run deficit at the bottom of the 5th. He was a 2022 junior future gamer. Winders is, I'm going to find this lineup. Winders is going to be followed by the last batter in the order. It's going to be John Mora, Miami commit. How do you like that? You have a Miami commit as the last guy in your batting order. Winters puts that in play. Slow roller to the first baseman. He tabs the bag, though, for the first out. That'll bring up Mora at a Somerset Academy Charter School in Florida.
It's a mouthful.
It sure is.
Yeah, that ball, he hit that one off the end a little bit, had some crazy spin on it. You can see the first baseman kind of having to stop. I'm like, okay, what's this thing doing? I mean, you see the exit velo at 31, so it's not scaring anybody, but probably had a crazy amount of spin on it, and those can be tricky over there if you're not careful.
Georgia Jackets now looking to Dylan Meehan. He's got a 2-0 count here with 1 down. Meehan is 0 for 2 today. Brother Mason, Kennesaw State commit. Meehan sends that foul. All right, Mora now at the plate for Padres. Now for him, it's the top of the order. Counts now 2-0.
We're checking our umpire there on field 11. Just the old 58-foot breaking ball. Bounced up and got him in the chest. So looks like he's all right back there. He's moving around.
I was talking to Eric Slaughter, who was the umpire yesterday during that USA Prime game when he had Gio Rojas and Coleman Borthwick on the mound, and then he had Trey Rangel for Kane Southwest. He saw nothing but 90s in that game. I mean, he said it was electric.
If you enjoy velo on the mound, field 12 yesterday was a popular spot. I think during that 12:40 time slot, I think we had 2 guys hit 97 on 12. We had a guy up to 95 on 10, and then we had a guy up to 93 on 11. And it's just like, not often you can say that. So it was if you're here about 1:30 yesterday, it was a prime time to see some mid-90s arms.
So we're just into June. Has this been the biggest velo numbers you can remember when you think about? Obviously, Jack Bauer, Connor Essenberg were putting up massive numbers as well. But can you remember this many guys throwing this hard at this point in the year?
In one event, yes. This is the most guys that I've seen, be 93 plus. It feels like everywhere you look, somebody's sitting 90 to 93. Like in one event, yes, it's the most guys I've seen, those mid to upper 90s. And it's just like, everywhere you look, it's like, what are we doing? Well, Jackets are going to win that ball game.
That one comes to an end. Ryan Williams and the Georgia Jackets are 4-1 winners. We're going to go single screen here as we take you just into the San Diego Padres scout team and team elite matchup here. Our last game of this 12:40 window. That one is in the bottom of the 5th inning. Got started a little bit late. So we're going to have a pitching change for team elite.
I don't know what's going on here.
Well, I think we're going to take a quick break here in studio. Then we'll try to sort this thing out. We'll be back with more from our MPI watch party. Welcome back, Cory McCartney, Avery Hunt in studio. This is our MPI watch party. We've sent Lexi Bowden, our roving reporter, all over. She caught up with Wilson Marlar from United Umpires to take you inside how his crew handles events here at LakePoint Sports.
Hey guys, I'm here with Wilson Marlar, who's the director of the Atlanta United Umpires, who are officiating all of the games this weekend. Wilson, how are you doing?
Lexi, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, you oversee a major operation with so many different teams here and so many different games. Tell me a little bit about United Umpires.
So United Umpires as a whole, we really value the family atmosphere here in the locker room. We really try to build a relationship with the umpires on and off the field, and we want to advance them to the highest level of umpiring baseball that they want to achieve.
And it's amazing how many umpires you have to get out for this type of event, like the National Program Invitational. What kind of levels of umpires do you have here?
So for these type of events, we have umpires all the way from just your average high school umpire all the way up to the Division I collegiate umpire. We have pretty much any level of collegiate you can ask for.
That is awesome.
Trying to match the talent on the field.
It's incredible.
Doing the best we can. That's all we can do.
What is your favorite part of it? I mean, you're serving these players in this community. Why did you want to get involved?
My favorite part, honestly, is when the draft comes and seeing all the videos from LakePoint and seeing my guys on there, seeing all the talent that they get to see throughout the year. And then at the end of the camp season, getting the phone calls, hearing the guys getting picked up from different collegiate groups. That's what it's all about on my end.
That's like a full circle moment.
It is.
How
it
cool
really
is that? And for you specifically, your dad is also involved with United Umpires. He's kind of the head guy.
He is.
What is that like? Did you want to get involved because of him?
He definitely played a big part in my involvement with it. He's the president under the travel side of United Umpires. So he played a huge part with me getting into the game as a whole, and he's played a huge part in my involvement as of now.
I'm sure he's very proud of you to see his son kind of taking it over. I want to finish on this. You know, the National Program Invitational isn't the only event that you guys are out at. What is your relationship like just with PBR as a whole?
PBR as a whole, let me tell you, it is a blessing to work with them across the country, at Grand Park, at the Lumberyard in Kansas City, and here at LakePoint. There's nothing better than getting to work with this great PBR staff at the amazing facilities across the country.
I love to hear it. Well, thanks so much for your time, and love seeing your guys out there. And they're really the backbone of all these games going on.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Lexi,
so
thank you for everything.
All right. Well, we'll send it back to you. We'll have much more coming from the National Program Invitational.
2, 1.
Welcome back, Cory McCartney, Avery Hunt with you. Good stuff there from Wilson Marlar and Lexi Bowden. We got Wilson on camera. Our work here is done.
Yeah, you get the guy that you know, the hidden figure, and got him on the stream. Good for him.
He loved it when I gave him some shout outs during our spring break experience. And he had on some really baggy pants, so we were giving him some love there. But he got all dressed up for us for the broadcast. Looked good. Tegan Beagley is the new pitcher on the mound for Team Elite at Dobbins Bennett High School in Tennessee. Misses on that one, makes it 3-0. When it goes from like those little screens to this big one, it feels like it's just like, yeah. So you can see everything. So again, he's got Mora, the last batter in the order for San Diego Padres scout team. John Mora, Somerset Academy Charter School, Miami commit, 50th ranked outfielder in the nation, 311 overall. Who do you think of when you see those Padres uniforms?
It's just going to be, people are going to be like, you're not old enough to think of this. Tony Gwynn.
Okay.
I mean, like, that's the generic answer.
Yeah.
Maybe a Brian Giles.
Okay. Well, that's your guy.
Yeah, Marcus.
Marcus is your
Marcus
guy.
Is my guy.
I thought it was the entire Giles family.
Yeah. Brian Giles. The only reason I know him is because of his brother.
Yeah. I think of like Ken Caminetti.
Yeah.
The Padres team that ended up going to the World Series. All right, back to the top of the order now in Maben. Texas commit out of Asheville. He had a deal with Big League Chew last summer, I remember.
That's a good deal to have.
Sure is.
I'm not a huge gum guy, but my wife is. So I might have to get her on the Big League Chew. We'll see.
You should get it for her, but put it in like a tobacco pouch. Then people will think she's got a problem. Yeah.
Just putting a big dip in.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen chewing tobacco in pink. Yeah, I got it custom made.
That's right. Like, is it Big Red? What's the
Big Red?
Yeah.
Or no, Red Man.
Yeah, Red Man. Big Red's like
Big Red's the gum.
The gum, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Man. Put some Big Red in the Red Man one, and then people will think she's got a problem.
Yeah.
1-0 count here to Maben. One down. Comes a 1-0 from Begley. 80.6 off his bat. Throw to second in time. Do they get him at first? They do complete the double play. Team Elite is standing on their heads in this one. They lead 8-4 over San Diego Padres scout team. Quick break in studio. We'll be back with more from our watch party.
Hot summer days call for cool adventures in Cartersville Museum City. Beat the heat indoors with jaw-dropping exhibits at Tellus Science Museum and the Savoy Automobile Museum. Hit the water at Terminus Wake Park, kayak the Etowah River, or head to Lake Allatoona for fishing, boating, and unbeatable lake days. When the sun sets, head downtown for live music, delicious eats, and local flavors. From family fun to date nights, summer memories start here. Plan your trip today at CartersvilleMuseumCity.com.
Our LakePoint sports photographers deliver at the highest level, taking you inside the action here across campus. We've got game day covered, and now you can not only see your game through our lens, but you can purchase photos as well. Use that QR code on screen for the latest images with galleries uploaded after the completion of tournaments and events. You can also go to LakePointSports.com or any of our social channels for more information. For the final time today, we make a pitching change. Grayson Rosen's back to closer.
That's what they call me.
We've got Vigil back on the mound for San Diego Padres scout team. That's Michael Vigil from Westminster Christian School in Florida, 23rd ranked right-hander in the nation. Steps in, his team down 8-4 in the top of the sixth. This is actually timing out, so this is going to be we very quickly could have had this game end the last inning if Padres would have sent one more batter to the plate. It probably would have ended. So we'll see if that comes back to bite Team Elite, turning that double play to bring it into the inning. See if they gave them too much leeway, because we just have Maben ground out. So that means you're going to have to deal with Wilson, Lombard, Johnson, and Quevedo if you're going to have that extend beyond three batters. But that's the challenge facing Team Elite. So far, they have been up to every challenge as they have taken an 8-4 lead over one of the presumptive favorites in the 17U division of this tournament.
I mean, on paper, probably the most talented team you'll find anywhere around the nation.
I really want to see them in that USA Prime Aces team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, that would be the game
would be a crazy matchup for sure.
I sort of wish they would have put them in the same pool just so we could have
but you don't want to have one of them knock them off. You want to see them in the big games.
But the only problem with that is the pitching.
Yeah.
And I think we always talk about this with these events when they go on long like this, that you're probably, again, we're not going to see Gio Rojas pitch again. We probably will see Coleman Borthwick because he just got a few pitches in, picking up off of Rojas in relief on Thursday. But if we would have, you could have guaranteed these guys would have been on the mound if you would have put them together against each other in pool play and allowed out there to start off the sixth. That's 83.6 off the bat. Hopefully, we get that matchup on Monday.
Hopefully.
Because that could be a lot of fun.
But there's plenty of great matchups that we could still find there in that.
Oh, I'm not saying this is the only thing.
Sure.
I just, you take those two teams and those names. And Jason Williams, Gino Goralski was in studio yesterday. This is his Denmark teammate, a Georgia Southern commit at the plate. 5'11", 179-pound, 2026. Comes with one down.
And I will say that championship Monday, especially for NPI, is kind of a weird feeling because you only have semifinals and championships, I think, in all three age groups. So it's a very tense environment. Nobody's here for consolation games. All that got dealt with on Sunday, but it is definitely it's a different kind of atmosphere. And then also, I believe the 16U game is after both the 17 and 15U game. And so I believe that's the one. Yeah, that's the one that we did last year was the championship for 16U. And it's just that field. Just about everybody is kind of left for the weekend, but it's like the biggest game.
Is that when
so far.
was that building champions?
No, I believe the championship game for 16U
It
was
was
Canes National.
It was. That was
and
Grady.
Smartens.
That was Grady Emerson and his
Yeah,
crew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to start to set the process of potentially delivering bad news, but Avery said that we're expecting bad weather on Sunday, and so there's the leeway on Monday where things could get pushed back. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Hopefully not.
Then we'll end up doing what I think is the ultimate change in a tournament, and we'll do first to score wins. That one goes out of bounds. Foul left.
Play 3-inning games.
Yeah, first to score. Could you imagine that?
Oh, man. Gio Rojas might have to come back out again if we're doing it that way.
2-2 count here to Williams. One down. It's in play. Keon Johnson has it, throws in time for the second out.
It was interesting. We saw Jacob Lombard move over to short for like an inning.
Yeah, they've switched back
and
and
they
forth.
switched back.
Yep. Now it's Dawson Vaughn out of Gainesville, third-ranked third baseman in Georgia, 73rd overall in the class of 2026, 6'2", 205-pounder. Steps in with 2 down. 11 hits for Team Elite in this one, 4 for San Diego Padres scout team. Oh, gets the inside strike. I think Vaughn's a little surprised that was a strike.
Yeah.
Had a lot of run on it for sure. Comes the 0-1 from Vigil. Oh, nice secondaries. Now got him down 0-2.
Yeah, 90 with the arm side drop there, and then you come in with 72.6, just kind of loop it in there.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to that inside pitch. If he's going to get that call. Nope, goes back to the breaking ball, and it's going to lay off that, makes it 1-2.
See, now you've totally thrown off his eye level. You've gone in on the hands, and you got the strike call. And then you got the strike looking on the breaking ball. You miss a little bit outside. Now what do you set him up with here?
Something elevated. No, goes down the pike with a fastball that he fouls off.
See what Vigil's got.
Here comes the 1-2. Ooh, tries to squeeze it. That's not going to happen. Counts now 2-2.
Do we know who that is behind the plate for Padres scout team?
Yeah, I believe that's Carter Winders.
Gotcha.
Out of Crockett County High School in Tennessee. 9th-ranked catcher in Tennessee. Comes a 2-2. Fouls that off. Yep, that is in fact Carter Winders.
Sure is.
5'10", 205-pounder.
But to say that's a strong body back there.
Yeah, that's a fire hydrant back there.
A literal backstop.
It's got a 2-2 count. Did he go? He did not. Count will be full. I love the pleading.
Yeah, and then you kind of have to plead to the umpire, be like, "Hey, look over there," so that he'll make a call.
And you got to stand up and get out of the way because you're waiting to defer and see if you can get that call. Counts full. Vigil fires. Oh, he tried. Missed. Winders tried hard to get that call, and he did not.
That was a tough frame.
Yeah, Vaughn's going to be aboard, and now we're going to have Saluk back up. Trey Saluk is 0 for 2.
See if Michael Vigil can close the door on him and get his guys going.
Holds off 86-6.
Seemed like he wasn't too happy with that.
Again, Team Elite has registered 11 hits on this Padres scout team. He's going to get away. Runner will, I'd assume, take off for second. He does, in fact. So Dawson Vaughn now standing at second base. 2 down in the inning. 2-0 count now to Saluk. 30 pitches for Vigil. Third pitcher today for Padres. It's in play. Lombard has it, throws to first for this inning-ending out. He's going to get a chance at the plate as they're going to go with Noah Wilson, Jacob Lombard, and Keon Johnson when we come back. And San Diego Padres down to their last opportunity, trailing by 4. We'll be back from the MPI watch party. LakePoint Sports is partnered with IHG Hotels and Resorts so athletes and families can stay where they play and enjoy exclusive savings. With over 6,000 IHG locations made for teams, families, and fans, you get comfy rooms, breakfast, and more. Score big savings at ihg.com/youthsports. Best hotel you've ever stayed in?
Ooh, I really haven't stayed in a ton of hotels.
Okay.
I'll admit, when I have done my traveling in my days, it's all been primarily RVs. Has been my go-to. I did stay at the Alara, the like condos in Vegas on the Strip.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So I am going to give. I'm not going to pander. This is not pandering to IHG, but it is IHG. During the Prep Baseball All-American game, we stayed at the Intercontinental in Miami, which is an IHG hotel, which is absolutely insane. It's right on the water. You look out, you watch the boats come in and all that stuff. It's fantastic. So. Shawn Duncan, if you're still around, you're still listening, let's get back at the Intercontinental this September for this Prep Baseball All-American game. I've already spoken to Coleman Borthwick and John Sters, who are both going back. They want to return there. So let's all get back and give ISG some more love. All right, Noah Wilson at the plate. You saw Noah Wilson in our Barnsley Resort Player Spotlight pregame. Vanderbilt commit.
I think I might try and get a room at the Element for future games.
There you go.
That way I can just walk across the street.
That would be pretty great
when the day's over.
You might be able to get a tent outside. Outside the bistro there.
Might just sleep in our studio.
Well, hopefully at that point our new studio's done, and we may literally have to put some cots in there because with 500 plus coaches expected here that weekend, and then you have the Georgia Outdoor Network and their huge event at the Champion Center. There is literally nowhere to park.
And there's nothing like LakePoint at night during future games. It's where all the magic happens.
That's very true. 2-1's the count now to Wilson. Begley has a daunting part of the order to navigate here with them up. That's 98.8 off the bat of Wilson. That is all the way into center field up against the back of the wall, and he's going to be down for a double, make it another triple.
Goodness, he is flying. He's going home.
Noah Wilson's going with the inside the park home run, and he, in fact, has it.
Oh, my
The
goodness.
Vanderbilt commit was scooting around the base pass. We are speechless. I'm stepping all over myself here because Noah Wilson was absolute magic.
Oh, my. And it was a stand-up inside the park home run from Noah Wilson.
Wow, getting some love from Cameron Maben, and he doesn't even look tired.
No, he could do that 3 more times right now. That was unbelievable. He got a little lucky on looked like he had trouble picking it up out there in center field, but Noah Wilson was absolutely flying.
He runs a 6.4 460, and he looked every bit the part there with a stand-up inside the park home run that went off the batter's eye in center field. And
oh my!
Man, it's rare that we see something we've never seen on these fields, and I have never seen that before.
Yeah, I thought it was close to leaving the yard. I think if he didn't hit it to center field, it gets out of here. But man, he was absolutely flying. Talk about a great way to get some momentum on your last legs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, and how much does that rattle you if you're Begley that you just watch that happen and you're got a 4-run lead going into the inning. It's now down 3 runs. When we saw the Atlanta Braves yesterday, they had the Diamondbacks had a 4 or 5% chance of winning that game. I watched the win probability on Quick Pitch today. It just kept ticking up and up and up and up and up. By the end of the inning, it was up to 83% as they then put the pressure on the Braves in the bottom of the 9th. And, comebacks happen.
They sure do. Not a lot of 10-4 leads get blown in the 9th, but it can happen.
Well, Lombard 0 for 1. He's got a 1-2 count now against Begley.
Oh, he put a ride on
that right to the shortstop, though. A long throw, and Lombard 97.8. Great play defensively there at short to be able to stop that from going anywhere. And just a lot of hard hit balls right at people. I think that's going to end up. And we obviously saw some absolute magic from Noah Wilson, but if the Padres end up dropping this game, I don't really know where you go for answers because they're hitting the ball extremely hard, just hitting it in the wrong places.
Yeah, I think for our advanced stats people out there, I think maybe we should start tracking BABIP here.
Yeah.
Maybe that would give us a little bit more of a tail of the tape.
Barrels on barrels, without question. Begley loses his lid on that one. He's got a
lost it a couple times. Something that we've. It's a constant topic here.
So Lombard finishes the day 0 for 2. Keon Johnson is currently 0 for 2.
It's the second batter in a row he just nearly hit, but both of them narrowly get out of the way.
I still can't believe that. No.
Yeah, I'm still in disbelief that we just witnessed that. That was unbelievable.
I mean, we obviously see a lot of inside the park home runs in the younger players.
Sure.
You don't typically see a guy who's able to do what he just did.
That one got him. Got him good.
Now hit Keon Johnson on the leg. Let's see if he's able to shake that one off.
Looked like maybe caught the calf. It's just an uncomfortable spot to get hit. But he'll take his gear off and take his time getting down to first base. A little limp going right now. You don't like to see that.
Well, that's going to bring up Eucalcus Quevedo, who hit that monster home run yesterday, the Florida State commit out of Mater Academy in Florida, where their curriculum is all centered around Mater from Cars.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Larry the Cable Guy.
That's right.
Yeah, Eucalcus Quevedo, a guy I'm very... I would love to see him get on campus in Tallahassee. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's going to be a reality.
6'3". He's already 6'3", 212 pounds with a year left in high school.
Yeah, that guy's he's a beast. You can see him. You can see him right there, just like we can, and he's a monster.
He's got a very Soto-esque build.
Yeah, I could see that. Really big in the shoulders too.
Yep, obviously I think, from the other side.
Yeah, you could see a lot of why he's got so much pop in that bat.
Well, he's got a runner at first. Oh man, he's swinging for everything. Goes through that 88.4 mile an hour
What is his
pitch.
bat speed? Do we know? Do we have the numbers on what we've?
I don't believe we do because I'm pretty sure a lot of the events that he has done in the past are not.
That one
prep
hard
baseball
liner,
events.
Second base. Did he double him up at first, or did Keon retreat? Looks like Keon did not get back in time, so we just had a double play in that game.
Quevedo with a hard line out, they get Keon Johnson at first to double him up and bring an end to the game. And maybe the most shocking piece of news today is that Team Elite took down the San Diego Padres scout team 8-5, and just wow. I mean, they just they looked absolutely great in that game. They were able to fend off a lot of really hard hit balls by an extremely talented lineup. You can basically say that they took everything the Padres could throw at them, and they end up with a 3-run win.
Yeah, I think for me, watching this Team Elite Scout victory, it's just about playing sound defense. I think we saw a little bit of some bobbled balls in the infield from the San Diego Padres scout team, but Team Elite just stayed sound. You know, even in that inning right there, you had a great stop and a great throw over to first to get Lombard out following that inside the park home run, and then you get that double play right there to end things. And I think that was just kind of the tale of this entire game and why they got that 3-run victory.
Well, that's going to bring an end to our game coverage of the watch party. We'll be back with more to wrap things up as we return from LakePoint Sports.
Hot summer days call for cool adventures in Cartersville Museum City. Beat the heat indoors with jaw-dropping exhibits at Telus Science Museum and the Savoy Automobile Museum. Hit the water at Terminus Wake Park. kayak the Etowah River, or head to Lake Allatoona for fishing, boating, and unbeatable lake days. When the sun sets, head downtown for live music, delicious eats, and local flavors. From family fun to date nights, summer memories start here. Plan your trip today at cartersvillemuseumcity.com.
Welcome back. Cory, McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. This brings an end to our second day of the MPI watch party. Just, I know you were in and out like 6 times, but the amount of guys that we had.
It was an
come in
unbelievable
here,
lineup.
Yeah, we had Austin Tambora, Trevor Condan, John Sters, Coleman Borthwick, Gio Rojas, Shawn Duncan, Avery Hunt, and then we, of course, had Lexi Bowden with plenty of catch-up interviews all across campus, as we saw the likes of Matt Kemp, Wilson Marler coming through as well. Also had Darvish's son. Yeah. It was, man, what a day. But we're going to be back tomorrow. Our National Program Invitational Watch Party coverage will wrap up Saturday. We've got the 12:40 window again for you. We've got Texas 12 2026 Red Sox versus Rawlings Southeast Mad Mavericks, NBA Scout Team 2026 versus Team Elite Platinum 17U, and Building Champion 17U National versus White Sox Scout Team Slayton. Have plenty more players joining me during that one as well, so you won't want to miss that. Make sure you tune in for free on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Until then, for Grayson, Rosen, Avery Hunt, Shawn Duncan, Lexi Bowden, Jack McCartney, our star-studded lineup of players, and producers Mason Monroe and Maddie Bullock, I'm Cory McCartney, and for now, we're signing off from LakePoint Sports.